All right. Good morning. Hey. Big stretch. Hello. Yes, good time zone, etc., etc. That's me, baby. Good time zone. Good morning. It's latte time. I made myself a latte. I hope you guys have some coffee or whatever it is you're gonna get up to. Okay, well, I've been awake for about 15 minutes, so now I'm your problem, I guess. Mom said you got to deal with me. Oh man, I'm tired. Eyeballs heavy. Okay. Pizza, delicious. It's technically past Halloween, but thank you for the happy Halloween, and happy Halloween to you. Oh, some tea would go kind of hard, actually. Maybe I'll make tea next time. I think I made my latte too sweet. It's kind of bothering me. And I like sweet coffee. Don't let me fool you. I'm not a black coffee drinker. I'm not that guy. I'm not him. But fuck, I think I made this too sweet. Anyway, hi. You know the deal. I'm Crimzon Rulez. I'm Alicia's greatest monster hunter. I'm the Midwest fantasy VTuber. I'm your least favorite idol. And today we're gonna have a little latte. We're gonna yap. I've been talking for like a year about being like about how I need to do more Zatsus. I need to do more Zatsus. I need to talk more. I just need to do more just chatting streams. And I gotta put my money where my mouth is and stop just talking about it. So let's vibe. Okay, that's not so bad. It's a little sweet, but it's hot. I do have a lot to talk about. Don't test me, Hurry Crab. I almost called this a fucking pun. I almost called this a latte yap about, or latte say, but I was like, nah. Not everything has to be a pun. I have work, and why have you done this to yourself? It's just a chatty stream. You just got to catch the VOD. Thanks for the soup, though. You need to go take a nap. Who are you? But the whimsy. All right, back up. Listen. I like whimsy as much as the next guy. But sometimes it's about setting expectation, right? Sometimes it's about setting the mood. And the mood today is you and I are going to sit around and sip on our lattes or our teas or our hot chocolates or whatever fucking nice little beverage we have. And we're going to yap. All right? Right now, you and I, we're in a cafe. We're not in a fucking Nickelodeon slime time show. We're not waiting for the next goof or gaff. We're just gonna shoot the shit about whatever I'm hyper fixating on this week, or whatever dumb shit comes to my mind, which at the moment is I was a girl in the village doing all right, and then I became and then I can't sing any more of that because I'll get in trouble. But anyway, that stuck in my head because of a stupid YouTube short I watched because I'm an idiot, which is why I gotta be careful about the content I intake, because I will immediately, it'll lock in and I won't even know. It's like a face hugger got a hold of me. It's insidious. I'll hear audio and it means nothing to me. And then, I'm humming it or singing it for the next 4 days, or I'm quoting some dumb voice. I don't even know where the voice came from. People are like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I heard it on a TikTok once. And then people think I know what I'm talking about, and I don't. I just don't. Lou Rovsky says, it's evening time, so no lattes for this weekling. But I'll drink some yummy herbs to 8 months. Let's go! Yummy herbs for 8 months. Thank you, Lou. And Apple, thank you for 9 months and welcome in. Yep time. That's right, baby. That's right. Welcome. It's from a cartoon? Yeah, I thought it was like from a, I don't know, a Doddsney movie or some shit. Anyway, hi everybody, welcome in. We have a lot to talk about. There you go. There's definitely some things I've been thinking about this week. Creatures with 3 eyes. Twilight. I mean, my usual fare. World building. The state of MMOs. Blah, 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 blah. Cat Thistle, thank you for 2 months of being a jackass, by the way. Hey there, Monster Hunter. Oh, sorry. Hey there, Monster Hunter. Saw you in Altis 3D. It was hilarious. Why did you take, why did you try to take out the ads and jerk? It was funny. Anyways, happy 2 months as a jackass Ruze. Look forward to what comes this month. That wasn't me. That was evil brain Ruze that lives in Altis' head. That wasn't me. So I don't take credit for what happened there. You only have water? Danny, you better figure it out right now. And thanks for 16 months. Holy shit. Thank you. And man, Cat Thistle, thank you for being a jackass, by the way. Aromantic Pigeon Madness says, my birthday is tomorrow, and Pigeon Azure's was on Halloween. Can whichever of us is most deserving get a happy birthday? All right, Pigeon Azure. Your name's Azure, so I can't give you a happy birthday. So Aromantic Pigeon Madness, happy early birthday. And thank you for popping by for the morning latte. Congratulations on making another round around the sun. Oh, this is just a little too sweet. Tolerable. Poulette Chicken, you hate me. Haven't caught a live stream since forever, so yippee! But don't imagine things. I'm not happy because I like you or whatever. That would be cringe. What do you mean, 22 months? Yeah, it's been 22 months of hating me, so that's big hater energy. I love that. My latte is mocha latte today, and that's what it is most days. I typically just throw like a little bit of chocolate syrup in there and a little vanilla creamer, though this one did not need the vanilla creamer, so I'm glad I didn't do that. I got like a new flavor of coffee, and it's kind of mocha flavored itself, and I regret that a little bit. No more chocolate syrup in this one. This is just going to be milk in that coffee, and maybe creamer if it needs it. I'm not a weenie about sweets. I don't like sweets that much, but I'm not a weenie about sweets. I still have a sweet tooth, just not as much as some people. Anyway, Danny, thank you for the delicious soup. So yeah, mostly what I've been thinking lately is I'm not going to keep this super structured or rigid. This is going to be a super duper casual just chatting stream where I just talk about whatever. And I might do this once or twice a week, but I want to do more Zatsus, just casual Zatsus, and I've talked about doing that for a while, and instead of just doing it, I kept packing my schedule with random gaming streams, and that's fine. Those are cool. I love those. But yeah. More just casual chatting. Just regular chatting. So I'll try to do this once or twice a week. Maybe more. I don't know. It depends on how much I like it. I do like yapping. I do like a lot of yapping. So this week I've been thinking about a lot. Nothing too crazy. I've been thinking about like the nature of like some heavier stuff, the nature of some lighter stuff. But let's start with what everybody's excited about, I think. My 2 frames that I'm getting right now, apparently. Never mind, it's better. It fixed itself. Okay. Twilight. Let's talk about Twilight. So recently I rewatched the first 3 Twilight movies. I think I watched the first 3 when I was a kid. Or maybe I only watched the first 2. I don't know. Anyway, I recently rewatched the Twilight movies that I'd seen. And then I also watched the last 2. And it makes me angry. It makes me really angry. Mostly because, I don't know, like I said last time I was talking about this, I'm kind of a pedantic little bastard about it. About anything I watch, really. I can't watch things without kind of ruining it. You know, like acquaintances, I almost said friends. Whew, that was close. Acquaintances sometimes just won't watch like rom-coms or horror movies or things like that with me. Partially because I hate horror movies. They freak me out. but also partially because I'll just pick it apart. I just get annoyed at inconsistencies or logical fallacies, right? You know, like it'll be a horror movie where like the monster's an unkillable like creature or whatever, and then they like, I don't know, beat it back with a baseball bat. I'm like, if they could fight it with a baseball bat, someone could have killed this thing with a gun. That kind of stuff. Anyway, that's crazy, Rhoda. Go watch it. Anyway, I rewatched the Twilight movies, and as usual, I picked them apart, but thankfully there was nobody there for me to ruin the movies for, because I just watched them. So everybody's welcome that I decided to do that, like in the hyperbolic Goku training chamber. Crazy Cat Lady, thank you for 9 months. Dang, that's crazy. Hey, congrats on your baby Zader. Peepaw was cranking. Yep. Yeah, there's no suspension of disbelief around me, because I think suspension of disbelief is a turn of phrase that is only given grace towards people who are choosing not to world build because they don't want to be like overly descriptive and hurt the narrative by like focusing too much on raw details. You know, like Tolkien spending 32 pages talking about tree bark. I do not give suspension of disbelief to writers who try to have consistencies in their writing and then clearly don't. And that, in my opinion, is Twilight in a nutshell. That is Twilight in its totality. There's times when the author clearly wants to set up world building and like lore and narrative, and then throws that out the window in the very next step. So that's pretty fucking annoying. Kit, thank you for 15 months of being a jackass. Absolutely bonkers. Happy 15 months or whatever. Currently eating pizza. Oh, pizza rolls. Man, I haven't had pizza rolls forever. That sounds delicious. That's crazy. You're welcome, Poulette. She probably is, Crazy Cat Lady. Man, imagine being born on Ruze's anniversary. Crazy. No one hates Twilight more than Robert Pattinson. I really don't blame Robert Pattinson. I get it. I would be very annoyed too, because obviously your face is plastered all over that and you got to deal with it. You would think that Taylor Lautner hated it more than him, but nope. Oh, I'm sure, Gail. I'm sure. I only watched Twilight with the riff tracks commentary. I don't know what that is, but fair. I can never look at Twilight books and not see the moron coding in it. I don't know what that means either. Moron coding? I mean, I do know what that means, technically. It sounds like something I would say, but damn. Cold. Mormon. Oh, is she Mormon? That explains it. There was a lot of like hyper there was a lot of messaging in the movie that I was like, wow, this is pretty traditional. And I don't mean slash positive in a lot of cases. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with whatever, but, you know, I was like, interesting. Ah, I see. Wait, does the Mormon faith have robots in it? That's crazy. Is Arc Raiders set in the Mormon universe? The Mormon cinematic universe. Cover does not support that statement I just made. That was a joke. Sorry. Well, you got 20 months of me. Now get 20 more. Okay, Lisa, if you insist. Thank you for 20 months, by the way. Peach, thank you for 16 months. The author had so much opportunity to build a world and more backstory of vampire and werewolf lore, but just threw it out. Now I watch it for laughs, as you should. That latte is getting better and better every sip. Mr. Gooseberry Channel, I'm glad you asked. I'm currently sipping on a mocha latte. Thank you for 2 months, by the way. Welcome back. All right. So, Here's my thoughts. This is not gonna be structured rambling. I'm just gonna ramble. I'm just gonna go off whatever I feel like talking about. And right now, what I want to talk about is why I'm Team Edward, because I'm sure everybody's curious. They're like, what the hell, dude? You're Team 109 years old freak. All right, listen. Her share of sentience. Thank you for being a Ruzader. And me, people, 1234. Thank you for 8 months and welcome back. What is just roll with this Vampire the You know what? I don't even know. I've never played Vampire the Masquerade. I should someday. So here's the thing. I am Team Edward because after watching the movies, I recognize Edward has been abused and manipulated. And I know what you're thinking. But Crimzon motherfucking Rulez. Edward is a 109-year-old man. Yes, I agree. What Edward did was creepy and weird. And being in high school as a 109-year-old man is irredeemable and bad. Okay? Let's get that out of the way right off the bat. However, I am also going to get this out of the way. Bella is a manipulator and a bad person, and I'm not Team Bella. I'm not Team Jacob. I am Team Edward being single and happy. I am Team Charlie hopefully finding a new love of his life and being happy. I'm sorry. Bella's a motherfucking freak. Every single moment that Edward establishes a fucking boundary, Bella has to step past it, has to sidestep it, or just guilt trip him, or in some ways just like outright like cruelly like use herself as a victim to force him to do things he does not want to do, just constantly. And I mean just constantly, and to the point of, I would say, cruelty. It's pretty fucked up. I mean, I don't know if she ever once alleviates his fear that she's only interested in him for immortality. Or even tries, really, other than being like, no, I'm in love with you, babe. Like, she's Kyle. If Bella was a white man, her name would be Kyle, and she would punch holes in walls. Because Bella, every time she's confronted with like kind of bad behavior or like ignoring Edward's desires or wishes, or even just trying to find compromise in the relationship, no, babe, I love you. Babe, all I know is that I've never loved anything more than you, babe. Babe, please, babe. Babe, seriously, for real, like our love it's different. But anyway, please make babies with me, please. And Edward's like, dude, I would literally kill you. I'm so terrified I'm gonna hurt you. And it is a genuine, constant burden to be close to you in a way where I am afraid I could shatter you like a frail little porcelain doll. And she's like, oh, but just try. Don't you care about me? Don't you care? Just try. Please try. And he's like, dude, what? Can you imagine how unfun that is for him? Can you imagine how like terrifying and sad that is? To be like, yeah, this is my experience with being like close physically with my partner is all I can think about is don't kill her. That sucks. That's terrible. That is so sad for that to be your core memory of being with this person. And then them being like, but please, babe, I really need to fuck. Like, come on, dude. That's so evil. That's so mean. That's so shitty. Sipsty and Bleach says, can you narrate Twilight and do the voices? Yeah, but I'm doing Bella as Kyle. And then he's like, please, can we just please wait until you're like at least a vampire? Can we like wait until I don't have to be afraid of hurting you? She's like, no, babe, please. But babe, there's a scene that sticks out to me. You have to understand, I come from a perspective of somebody who stopped watching once it got a little too romantic because I just didn't give a shit as a kid. So I just this is all new elements to me for the most part. The scene that sticks out to me is when she's like, let's fucking get it, brother. And he's like, no, I don't want to hurt you. And she's like, please just try. And he's like, no, dude, I don't want to hurt you. She's like, but while I'm still while I still want you like this. And he had just gotten done saying, I think you'll be a different person if you're a vampire. She's like, no, I won't change. I'll be exactly who I am. I want to be like you. You're a person just like me. I swear. I don't think any differently of you. And then in 2 seconds later is like, but I'll be different, babe. I won't be like me. What if I don't want you like this? What if I'm a monster? And it's like, so you're calling him a monster. You're saying he is a weirdo. He is a freak. He's a freak and you're afraid you're going to be a freak. So please, please, please step past your boundaries for me while I'm still a person is what you're saying. So you're just being a bad dude all the way around. You're so mean. God, Bella. She's manipulative and not good at it, and Edward's just so desperate and emotionally vulnerable that he's getting manipulated by somebody who's actually genuinely bad at it. Matthew, he says, how about Edward as Gilbert Gottfried? I wish I could do a good Gilbert Gottfried, but I can't. So I'm just going to have to say thanks for half a year instead, Matthew. Cronwitch, welcome back for 21 months of being exceptional. Absolutely crazy. Joyful Day of the Dead to all of those to celebrate. This membership milestone goes out to Mama Ruze and to my beloved fur daughter, Little Old Lady. I miss you no matter how long it's been. You're always in my heart. I'm sure Mama Ruze is in your heart, Ruze. Yeah. She sure is. But that's all right. We celebrate rather than mourn, at least for now. Sweets, thank you for 19 months, by the way. Welcome back. These are all such valid points, I'm convinced. Now, listen, I think most people probably don't watch these movies with a critical eye because it's just about how hot Edward is and how it's a will they, won't they type of deal. And I get that. But, like, if you watch this with a critical eye, it's genuinely, Edward is a victim constantly. Yes, he was a weirdo. Yes, he should not have been anywhere near a high school. That's super fucked up. And I'm not excusing that. This is not a statement of this alleviates his guilt. This is a statement of Bella's a bad person. And he is a bad person too, but she's a bad person. Leo Stone, thank you for 4 months. I said I would start watching you because I kept getting gifted memberships. Well, now I can feel myself slowly becoming a Ruzader. How do I stop? The best bet would be to turn off your computer and throw it out the window. Thanks for 4 months, though. Barbecue Lace, thank you for 22 months of being an Axel. Not you psychoanalyzing a funny bad series. I'll rewatch New Moon again. I will always psychoanalyze everything I watch, so if you don't want it psychoanalyzed, don't tell me to watch it. If you ever say, Crimzon Rulez, please watch this series, it's just funny and silly, and you don't think I'm going to pick apart the characters in it or the world building, honey, you got a storm coming. Fenrir, thank you for 22 months. Yeah, Bella reflects a lot of my dating in high school. She wants to step past boundaries, and I stand there aura farming with my eyes closed. I know that feeling, brother. We shared that experience. Meyer says, it's worse because Twilight has a thing where soulmates are forced in vampire lore, so Edward's essentially forced to stay with his abuser. That fucking sucks. That's kind of like the weird imprinting thing, but we'll get to that in a minute. Thank you for the soup, Myra. Lynn Alexis, thank you for 22 months, says, you're actually cooking. Also, my favorite part of Twilight is Paramore on the soundtrack. Oh, yeah. Good taste, good taste. Zuna, thank you for the chip. All right. So. Yeah, I said the I word. I said imprinting. I'll say it again, dude. Oh, we're gonna get to the fucking imprinting. I'm not done. Oh, brother, I'm gonna fucking lose it. I'm gonna go crazy about this. The music of Twilight is its redeeming quality, which is why everybody still remembers the supermassive black hole scene and how goofy it was. All right. Supermassive baseball. Listen. I feel bad for Edward on so many levels. Now let's take a look at Edward, and I'm going to say something you will almost never hear me say in any context. I'm going to say, let's look at Edward within the context of the time he was raised. Whoa, boo! Boo, Crimzon Rulez, boo! Ew, ew. He was a product of his era, Crimzon Rulez. Ew, I didn't expect, boo! The crowd hated that. The crowd goes mild, but no, for real. I would never use as an excuse to excuse someone's shitty behavior in a modern context. However, Columbus Callum Neal, thanks for being an asshole. That's it. That's the point I was getting to. However, thank you for being an asshole, Columbus. No, but for real, I wouldn't excuse that on a human being, but this is an immortal vampire who was changed into an immortal when he was like a 17-year-old boy. Now let's look at the context in which he was probably raised 109 years ago. I'm going to assume he was raised in a relatively, like, Catholic society in which there was a certain culturally accepted norm about how you approached people you were interested in and people you know, wished to be intimate with or bind your life to through, like, holy matrimony or whatever the fuck it is you believe in or Edward believes in. And I'm not saying that some of those ideals are good, but I am saying that he clearly stated he is not comfortable moving past those boundaries, and that there is a way he is used to those things going. And he would like to move very slowly, and at best, hold hands and walk in fields of flowers while being, like, chaperoned by a parental figure. Maybe steal a kiss once in a blue moon. That's the level Edward's on. Edward's at a level where he's like, I am barely comfortable holding your hand and kissing you, besides the wanting to kill you thing. Like that aside, intimately, I don't want to be intimate. I don't think that's appropriate. And Bella's like, that's so old school. Babe, come on. Let's fuck. And Edward's like, I don't like that. And Bella's like, I don't care. So anyway, and dude, like, how is that not abuser 101? That's so fucked up, man. That's so mean. That's so fucked up. It's to her, it's like, this is so sexy because it's dangerous. To him, it's, my immortal soul is damned. I am damning her immortal soul. And all of that aside, I'm becoming a worse person actively, and she's encouraging it. And he loves her so much. He's like, well, I don't see the bad in what she's doing. I'm just a fucking, like, prude Luddite who can't give her what she wants. I guess I'll be like, run off with this other dude, even though it'll break my heart. It's so shitty, dude. It's so shitty. No, that's a red flag too. Don't hold on, Bernie buddy. We're getting there. Anyway, so Edward tries to do things in his mind the right way. He's like, can we get married to, like, you know, because it's part of my belief system or whatever. And whether you believe those beliefs or not, personally, I'm, you know, I don't hold any particularly strong faith in any direction. However, in his belief structure, being married is the right thing to do culturally. It's the culturally acceptable thing to do. And she's like, no, it's lame. People are going to think I got pregnant, which, spoilers, she does get pregnante. But, like, dude, seriously, you can't give him this one thing. You can't abide by this one minor thing he wants. You don't even have to make it public. You could have just gotten married privately. But you can't abide by this one thing. To me, that's a red flag. That's a red flag to me. If a dude ever approaches you and is like, hey, man, like, please, can I get some fuck? And you're like, I don't know, like, let's be in a relationship for a while and, like, get to know each other, and I'm not comfortable with that. And he's like, yeah, but please, though, please. And you're like, fine, let's at least get married. And he's like, no, but let's fuck. That's a red flag. That's a fucking red flag, brother. Bella is a walking red flag. She's really not cool. Mushroom King, thank you for 20 months, by the way. It's not just the way she treats Edward, by the way. It's just the more I watched the series, the more I recognized how incredibly uncomfortable and unhappy Edward was. And I was like, damn, this motherfucker getting abused. That sucks, dude. That's sad. And the way she treats Jacob, now Jacob's a piece of shit too. Can't stand Jacob. Bad guy all the way around. But Bella, I'm like, I think you have a sociopathic need for attention. I think you will do anything for attention, even being around some dude who is clearly quite a creep. Quite a creep. And a danger to you, aside from that. Do you think she's doing it on purpose? I mean, yeah, there's no other explanation. Okay, I take that back. Muggs, I think the reality is Bella is incredibly poorly written and is just a vessel for isn't this so sexy. Bella has no personality, no drive, no hobbies, and no wants or desires other than, I'm assuming, the author's, like, faith and biases and being completely devoid of flavor so that anybody can be like, I'm Bella. But I think when you do that and have a character like that and their sole drive is how sexy is this, then they focus on nothing else, including other characters' comfort around them. So in the real context, Bella is just poorly written. In the context of if Bella was a person, there is no other explanation other than, at best, she is ignorant and stupid and uncaring of the people around her to the point where she hurts them constantly. At worst, she is an active manipulator. Not a good one, but one who seeks to manipulate people to get whatever she wants. Thanks, Mint Honey, and thank you for 22 months. Let me have another sip of this. Oh no, it's getting cold. Hold on. What's a good manipulator then? One that's not inherently transparent. One that leads their like manipulated target to their conclusions on their own. One that weaves a web of lies that cannot be disproven or proven and uses gaslighting to get what they want instead of ham-fistedly just being like, but babe, I want it and I don't care about your boundaries. That's a good manipulator. A good manipulator is somebody you probably don't know is manipulating you until you're in a situation where you have Stockholm syndrome or you feel reliant on them, and then they reveal that they're a manipulator, usually because they realize they no longer have to keep up the facade. That's a good manipulator. Now, is that a good thing? No. By good, I mean skilled, not good. Miscellany, thanks for reading a bruiser. Ruze says Twilight is a self-insert fanfic with Gerard Way, by the way. With Gerard Way, that's right. Holy shit, I forgot about that. Also, thanks for the sue. I gotta finish this before it gets cold. Okay, if that's Gerard Way, who is Jacob? Nom, 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 nom. I did know that I did know that 50 Shades was a Twilight fanfic. Hey, yo, thank you, Valera. No, wow, I said Valera. Valeria, thank you for 19 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What in the Game of Thrones? Sorry, I called you Valera. All right, so. Uh-oh, here comes the internet. Wait, Big Gert. Matthew says, oh man, the last super chat just reminded me that My Immortal is also a thing that exists. Does anyone here not know of My Immortal in this day and age of 2025? Everybody knows My Immortal. It's eternal internet culture. Also, let's keep it stepping. Let's keep it stepping. Here's the other thing that annoys me about this franchise is there is so many ways this could have been written interestingly. You know what? No, let's talk about Jacob first. Let's go ahead and just get the two main love interests out of the way. Jacob's a problem. Jacob is a bad dude. Jacob is a dude who you could try to be like, oh well, you know, he's just a guy. He can't control the wolf. But they don't even write it that way. He's just a bad dude. He doesn't even imprint. He's just kind of a bad guy. Yes, My Immortal, the Evanescence song. He's selfish. He's self-motivated. He's... here comes the fucking Big Gert. Hold on. God fucking fuck me. Oh, why do you make the EU time slot so painful for me, Big Gert? You were the first I've heard to see it from Edward's side. I'm sorry, dude, but like, I can't help but see it from side. And maybe it's just because Robert Pattinson's acting makes it look like he's got to vomit or take a shit 24/7. No offense, Robert Pattinson. I know you were told to act like that. But I was like, damn, this dude's so uncomfortable. Big Gert's clearly Team Jacob, dude. Clarity at 3 a.m. Thank you for the soup, by the way. All right, brother. Let's talk about Jacob a little bit. Let's get the fucking dog out of the room. Let's address the giant fucking dog in the room. You got that dog in him. All right. I would argue that he became a bad guy. Started becoming a bad guy when he became a wolf. I would agree. There's a couple things about Jacob that I really do not like. Now, I do not have any say or room or space to speak on how Stephanie Meyer wrote Native Americans or any of the issues facing them, though they do have quite a few that face them aside from, like, even in the modern era, especially considering, like, you know, the way, like, the reservations and cultural, like, norms are constantly stepped upon. That's not my business here. I can't talk about that because I don't know enough about that, but I can almost assure you is handled very poorly. Especially the notion around like the weird like gang violence that was implied before Bella knew they were werewolves. But anyway, we'll talk about that some other time because that's not my place to talk about. because I don't have enough knowledge about it. So there you go. Muse, thank you for 21 months, by the way. My Chemical Romance refused to be on the movie soundtrack despite the entire begging Myers did with huge cash and wrote Vampire Money as the cap off to Danger Days. It's on the Best Dive songs, highly recommended on the album. Huh. Okay. Good to know. Thank you, My Chemical Romance. You saved your legacy. Anyway, it's not great. It's not great, and I believe, yeah, what Survey said, I believe she used a real-life tribe. And they're still fighting werewolf allegations to this day, apparently. So that's rough. That sucks. You could have just made something up, but you chose not to. Anyway, whatever. The way she handled that is neither here nor there for me because I cannot comment on that. However, what I can comment on is how she used Jacob as a character. And I'm going to say it. He's just poorly written. First of all, why was Bella, like, creeping on this kid? He was a kid when she met him. That was weird to me. But we'll move on from that. We'll just ignore that because let's move on to when Jacob's an adult and Jacob's the creep. So Jacob won't take no super incel behavior personified. I mean, like, just hardcore all the time. He's both somehow simultaneously one of the worst dudes I've ever met and one of the most pathetic. And by met, I mean, like, you know, had to watch on screen. He was like 14 and being used as a weird tool in her weird war, used as a tool in her weird war against Edward. Listen, the way she manipulated Jacob wasn't cool either. However, Jacob was as guilty, if not worse, in many cases. Is Jacob ever an adult in the series? I think so, yes. I think that, I agree, Mr. Gooseberry Channel. That would have been a great way to... That would have been a better movie. There's many ways this movie could have been better, and I'll explain how in a minute. And I promise you, by the time you walk away from here, you're going to be angry that this wasn't the angle that was taken. But Jacob was very young at the start of the first book. I think he was... Oh, there you go. 15. He was 18, I believe, by the final book. But they tried to be like, oh, but his body aged up to like a 25-year-old man or some shit, which doesn't make it better and honestly makes it creepy on both ends. But Bella was a weirdo for like constantly dragging this kid along and being too interested in him. But I guess in her defense, she was a kid too in the first book. So they were just kids. Sure. Later on, she's just a weirdo. And then later on, he's a worse weirdo. My main issue with Jacob is that he's just kind of sad and also creepy. There's many instances he could have tried to make this right. Like, if Jacob had just tried to get... Okay, listen, if Jacob had been in the big 2025 and just shown Bella ABO fanfics, he would have had a better chance. I'll say it. I'll fucking say it. I'm not sorry. If Jacob had been like, Bella, no, Bella, look, like, check this out. Check this out. I need you to read this. I need you to read this. It's important. It's good literature. He would have had a better chance. And she would have fucking been into it, too. Bella's a fucking weirdo. Bella's a little freak. Not that you're a freak if you like ABO. But Bella would be like, cool. Anyway. I think Jacob's problem is he didn't have the language to explain what it was he was trying to talk about, I think. Right? So Jacob, at one point, proposes polyamory. He says it in the worst way possible and without any way to understand what he's talking about and through the lens of the author's clear bias. And Bella is, to her credit, not interested. And that should have been the end of it. That should have been the, okay, actually, never mind. But no, Jacob can't take no because he's a little weirdo. Blastosa says, I got a job place that does RPG stuff because I learned D&D from this 2D guy I know. Gobsmacked the interviewer by telling them about West. Let's fucking go. Congratulations, Blastosa. I'm jealous. Get me hired there. How the F did this get popular? Hold on, it gets worse. It gets worse. Bear with me for a minute. I think Edward broaches poly first. Maybe in the books, but not in the movies. Jacob's the only one who mentions polyamory. And it's mentioned in the most pathetic way possible. And it's very annoying. And obviously nobody would be interested in that way because you're being a whiny, pouty baby about it. And you mention it like it's some strange taboo. Which, whatever, man. I get it. It was written in like 2000, whatever the fuck. But, dude, come on. Like, if you're gonna present the idea, present the fucking idea. Like, don't be a weirdo about it. Anyway, to cut a long story short, or rather to lay some groundwork real quick, really fast. Jacob starts out interested in Bella. They're childhood friends. Bella's not that interested in Jacob. Jacob realizes he's a werewolf. Bella gets with Edward. Jacob violates Bella's, like, wishes and also autonomy, and also is just a creep and forces a kiss on her when they're alone and she's vulnerable and she's on his reserve and in a place where she can't really defend herself because she's out in the wilds or whatever, and it's already been established that werewolves are dangerous and temperamental. Then she punches him in the face, and somehow they stay friends. Bella, to her dumbass credit, is like, yeah, but he's still my best friend, because she likes the attention. And I don't mean that in like a misogynistic, like, oh, girls just want attention way. Bear with me. She genuinely she's codependent on Jacob being around her, comforting her when she's having trouble with Edward. And that's not good. That's not good, because she allows Jacob to feel the same level of dependence on her and more so, and kind of tugs that along, not in a friend zone sort of way, because got to be careful about how I discuss this, just in case. I'm not saying you cannot be friends with people. I'm saying that she understands Jacob's feelings for her and does not address them or rebuff them well enough, and in fact, at times, puts herself in situations where she has to be copacetic to them, which is fucked up, but because she doesn't want to lose her friend Jacob, which I get it, but hey man, don't be selfish. Cut that boy off. Y'all, let's just use a Megaverse. Yes, she's very clingy and she very much craves attention in I would say a very unhealthy way. A very, very unhealthy way that is damaging to her relationships and dangerous to her physically. Ruze, that's because the rules of the universe do not apply unless it's convenient, and I'll explain that in a moment. Cycle of toxicity for real. Don't worry, we're going to get to the inconsistencies because there's a lot, and it pisses me off, and that is one of the many parts of the fucking franchise. I was losing my mind. Sorry, I'm going to try not to get too loud. I'm going to try not to freak out during latte time. All right, we're chilling. We're chilling. It's a morning latte. We're going to chill. We're going to chill. Whew. Sometimes you have to be too nice because you don't want the guy to hurt you. Just don't put yourself in a situation where you're near the guy, is in this case. Now, I know that's not always a choice, and I know in the moment, sometimes you have to be nice for your own safety, and I agree with that. You should be, to get out of those situations, and then get the fuck out of those situations. Don't keep calling the guy when he's not answering. And the crazy part is, Jacob tries to like cut her off many times. Now it's a shitty douchebag manipulative, like, I just won't call her and then it'll hurt her the way she hurt me. Like, no, it's not like a good cutoff. It's not for good reasons. But he tries to go cold turkey and leave, essentially, and not talk to her, and she won't leave him the fuck alone, which is super shitty. Super shitty. I did not watch the Spiderwick Chronicles, sorry. Ghosts her ass, but she can't read the signs? That's what I'm saying, dude. Come on, Bella. Jeez. Well, of course, Trekkie. I mean, I think that's the moral of the story, is that the author's ideal partner is someone who's obsessive and codependent and wants nothing to do with anybody but you. And I will get to that in a second as well. Rose, thank you for the 5 gifted chips. Frankly, I just don't like Bella as a character because she demands the attention of everybody around her and demands to be the most specialist person in the room at any given moment. And if it's not happening, then the universe bends around it, which is convenient. But the few times the universe doesn't bend around it, she's pretty pissed about it, if you haven't noticed. Rose, thank you for the 5 gifted chips. Damn. All right. So anyway, Jacob is a bad dude. We've established this. Let's keep it moving. Jacob clearly does not respect boundaries. He tries to force himself physically on Bella. She says no. He says, I won't ever do that again unless it's something you ask of me. And then, of course, he's about to go put himself in danger, and she asks it of him. There's a scene later where there's a big fight with a bunch of vampires or whatever, and he's about to go out there, and she's worried he's going to get himself killed because he's emotionally vulnerable and he's hurt. So she begs him to stay, and the only way she can get him to stay is if she asks him to kiss her. So she asked Jacob to kiss her. Now, this, in my opinion, is not shitty of Bella. This is shitty of Jacob. Jacob gave her an ultimatum. The equivalent of this scene, what just happened in that scene, right, is Jacob basically says, I won't push your boundaries unless you want me in that way, but then says, but also, if you don't want me in that way, I'm going to go kill myself. That's what he says. That's literally, that is exactly what that scene is. That's how that scene plays out. Jacob says, if you don't ask me, if this is your only recourse, this is the only way I'm going to stay, is if you ask me to fucking kiss you. And he puts her in a situation where she has to. It's evil. It's evil. So that's manipulation. Bella is bad at manipulation. An example of effective manipulation is pulling at somebody's morality and essentially demanding that they step past their boundaries for you, or you will harm yourself and place the moral burden upon them. That's manipulation. Somebody asked me earlier, well, what's a good manipulator? That's good manipulation. Not in a good way, like morally good, but in a skillful way. He put her in a situation where she could not say no and feel morally okay with what she'd done, which is shitty. Terrible. Everyone's the asshole. It's true. Oh my God, my internet. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. All right, it looks like I'm back. Theoretically. It might get worse. I'll find out. Oh, no, it's getting worse. Never mind. Okay. Things seem to have leveled out. Maybe? I'm going to say they leveled out for now and continue talking. Okay. So anyway, Jacob's a bad dude. Bella's a bad dude. Edward's a fucking creep. And in some ways, and this is the only time I will ever give this person the pass on this statement, and only for a supernatural immortal entity, he is a product of his times. Name one thing you like about Twilight, quick. Some of the character design wasn't the worst. Sometimes the lighting in some shots were genuinely beautiful. Yeah, bad ISP. You're not supposed to have a bias on Twilight. Come on, man. Nah, don't get me started on Alice. Hold on. I'm about to lose my fucking shit about Alice. I'm about to lose my shit about Alice. I'm about to be mad, dude. Oh, brother. Oh, man. Every time I'm about to talk about something I'm going to be mad at, the ISP goes down. Bye, ISP. I'll miss you. I don't care. I'm going to keep going. Okay. Anyway, so there's a scene, right, in that same scene where Jacob basically forces Bella to kiss him. There's a scene where Jacob puts Edward in the cuck chair, which is a really weird fantasy. I don't know what the deal is there. Why are you mad about my girl? You'll see in a second. You'll see in a fucking second, all right? All right. So there's a scene where Edward gets sat in the cuck chair because Bella's freezing to death, and Edward's body is, as we all know, very cold because he's a vampire, so he can't help her because they didn't bring enough blankets or a fucking space heater, I guess, because they're idiots. Anyway, so Jacob stays, and he's like, don't worry, babe, I'll heat you up, because apparently werewolf bodies run extra hot. Question mark? I don't fucking know. So he climbs into the fucking like sleeping bag with her and lays there, and then thinks about getting fucking, not to put too fine a point on it, but raw werewolf in it. He thinks about raw dogging it or whatever. And Edward, if you did not know this about Twilight, can read thoughts. He can't really turn it off very well. And Jacob just sits there and maintains eye contact with the dude while thinking these thoughts about this person, which is super fucked up and evil. That's so gross, dude. That's such like fucked behavior in so many ways. But also, man, if you wanted Edward, you should just say it, because it seems to me like Jacob is almost more attracted to pissing off Edward than he is to Bella. And I'm like, I think maybe this is a triangle in the truest sense and you don't recognize it. I don't think this is like a love competition. I think Jacob, deep down, you want Edward. That's weird, man. And not weird in like a that's bad way. I mean, it's weird because just say it, you fucking freak. Stop using Bella as a go-between. Also, stop thinking those thoughts, you fucking freak. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Anyway, Mushroom King says, Ruze, this is timely. I'm about to reread the books with the mindset of it being a toxic romance. Also, my mom's reading them for the first time. Help! Oh, I'm sorry, Mushroom King. Thank you for the soup, but your mom's not coming out of that same person. Rage baiting is a love language, real. It's true. It's funny as hell. I get it. I like pissing people off too. It's not a love language. I just like watching people get pissed off. But Jacob got the Homestuck romance system early. Jacob got that early DL. He said, hey, brother, I'm looking for a Kismasis. What you in for? And Edward said, what the fuck is that, Jacob? I was around when color TV was invented. Shut the fuck up. I don't know what that means. And Jacob said, no, check this out, Edward. Look, you're going to love me after this. Renegade. And Edward's like, what is happening? But anyway. Jacob tried to win him over with his TikTok dances. It didn't happen. Anyway, let's lock back in. So Jacob's a freak. We know this. Why do moms and aunts genuinely enjoy Twilight? Because they're reading it as sexy fanfic and not as like a critical analysis of character. And that's fair. I get it. Hey, Edward, watch this. Hits the... Brief fanfiction detour. I'm sorry I did a brief fanfiction detour. So they're in the tent. Jacob's being a fucking freak or whatever. And Edward, to his credit, and by to his credit, I mean to his completely out of character, nonsensical bullshit, completely shifts fucking gears. Imagine this. See, this is how I know this writer wasn't thinking about anything other than what would be sexy. We, for some reason, outside of Bella's POV, and I don't know why we're allowed to see this, we see Edward and Jacob talking to each other, even though Bella is asleep. And Jacob is clearly thinking about getting down and dirty, real fucking sloppy style with Bella, which is super weird, because he's sitting there trying to keep her warm, and she's pressed up against him or whatever, and Edward is reading his mind while he's thinking about this. And Edward lets him know he's reading their mind, right? Edward's like, hey man, you could at least control your fucking thoughts. And I'm like, oh, they're about to fight, probably, right? Like, I'd be throwing fucking hands. I'd be like, hey, gross, dude. All right, listen, no more of this. Like, roll over so that your back is facing her at this point, you fucking freak. But no, he just says, you could at least control your thoughts. And then they get to talking for a second. And Jacob has the audacity to accuse Edward of being the bad guy in the situation. Jacob's like, oh, real mature, dude. You could just pick through my thoughts, but you won't talk to me when I ask about yours? Like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Seriously? Yeah, see, that's how I know you're a bad guy. Brother, I don't need you psychoanalyzing me. I read your mind. I know you're a bad guy. No, I'm not going to tell you shit about nothing. The only thing I'm going to tell you is my fucking hand going through your skull cavity, all right? I am going to put my fingers into one of your ears and out through your nose. What are you talking about? Anyway, that was frustrating for Jacob having the audacity to act like Edward was the bad guy in the room for reading his mind and being like, well, you're stepping past my boundaries and reading my thoughts, bro. All right? That's one. But then, in a complete subversion of character, nonsensically, and this is how I know it's only written because, wouldn't it be hot if they actually kind of liked each other? Edward's like, you know, if you weren't trying to steal the love of my life, maybe we could have been friends. Motherfucker, how? Either you're lying, either you're just saying shit, talking at your ass, or you're so lonely, it's so pathetic that you're like, yeah, this guy's thinking about fucking her and pushing past her boundaries and has also pushed her boundaries multiple times and is also just completely like wants me dead and wishes I wasn't in the picture and has actually considered killing me to save himself. Pete, but maybe we could be friends. That's somebody I could be friends with. Yeah. Edward, what? Edward, excuse me? What are you saying? What the fuck are you saying? You cannot stop me, Big Gert. You're not strong enough. All right, I'm sorry, Big Gert. I'm sorry. Okay. You know what, Big Gert? You win. I'll back off Jacob. I'm sorry. Let me switch gears. Okay. Anyway, Edward is so sad and so lonely, and it sucks for him. That's rough, buddy. We're back, baby. You can't silence me. You're not strong enough to stop me. Oh, I'm gonna get to fucking Alice in a second. Don't you fucking worry. I'm gonna get to Alice in one single solitary second. Ready? One. All right, so Alice sucks. I'm sorry, dude. Alice sucks. I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute. I'm gonna let you guys feel it. However, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. All right. Here's the problem with Alice. Alice is a vehicle for Bella feeling like the main character. And by that, I mean, Alice is again, Bella's Kyle, right? Alice is the third love interest. You don't understand this. Alice is, in many ways, the third love interest, but the one who is completely ignored and taken advantage of. So if Edward is the brooding, emotionally vulnerable, but also distant, like cold one who, you know, the main character really, really, really wants, but it's hard to crack their shell, and Jacob is the angry, pushy one who doesn't understand boundaries and is borderline a predator, Alice is the one who will bend over backwards, doing everything for you, no matter what, forever. I swear to God, ISP, if you don't fucking... Oh, my God. Big Gert, I will flay you alive. If you do not fix this ISP this fucking instant, Big Gert. Wow, thank you for the soup, Clarity. Okay, hi Myra. Thank you for the therapy funds, and thank you Raven for the chip. For some reason, it seems like my thing's frozen. Maybe if I reload it, is there a way to reload this? Hold on. What the hell? Why does it look like that? That ain't right. I mean, it's working, and it don't look right. Why don't you look right? 1 second. I love problems. Ew, light mode. Shut up. You can't judge me. Mostly because I don't use light mode, but also because I say so. Okay, I think I fixed everything. I hope so. Anyway, so yeah, where was I? What was I talking about? I don't remember anymore. I was about to lose my shit about something, but geez. All right, so that was frustrating. I am unfortunately going to have to seek out my ISP, and I think I'm going to flay them alive. And then I'm going to lay them on top of an anthill and watch what happens. No, all right. Anyway, here's my thoughts about Alice. Alice is the third love interest, and by that I don't mean in any fun or cool way. Like the author was not brave enough to write toxic Yuri, so no, that does not happen. Alice is the love interest who is not in any way in the running or competition and thinks they are, and for some reason is just obsessed with the protagonist as the two actual love interests, and is just doting on her and obsessing over her and doing everything for her all the time, no matter what, for no fucking reason. What does Alice get out of this relationship? I don't know. Nothing. Bella doesn't express an interest in her hobbies, anything she likes, anything she does. She is just the platonic ideal for best friend fantasy, in which you have to put no effort in, and your best friend literally, and I do mean literally, does everything for you. Alice plans her whole fucking wedding because Alice is just such a cool girl who doesn't give a shit about that kind of stuff, even though it is so important to Edward in one of the biggest moments of his life, the thing he's been waiting 109 years to do, and the only stopgap that would allow him to feel comfortable bringing Bella into his fucking world. The only thing that he asks of her to turn her into a vampire is, please marry me. Literally the most important day of his life, but she can't be fucking bothered, dude. She can't. I'm too cool for this. Is this necessary? Do I need to dress up? Do I need to participate in all of this ceremony? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. This is so important to your love of your life that you're so obsessed with that you would die without. And you don't give a fuck. You don't give a single solitary fuck. Meanwhile, Miss No fucking personality, no drive outside of how big a fucking Bella can she suck off. Alice is out here like, I'll plan the whole wedding. Don't worry, it'll be fun. Shut the fuck up. Get yourself off the ground, girl. Get some standards. Don't you have a Jasper to run back to? Why are you so obsessed with smooching Bella? Listen, this has nothing to do with you, all right? Let Bella plan a fucking thing, for fuck's sake. Jesus Christ. Alice is there to move the plot along because she can see the future, apparently, and literally obsess over Bella. She puts herself in the cuck chair. Later, after they get married, Alice takes them to the fuck house. I, out loud, to myself, said, this is the fuck house. As a joke. It wasn't a joke, it turns out. There's a scene after they get married where they're given their own little house, and I lost my shit. I was like, why the fuck is there a house out here that isn't part of Carlisle's mansion? I was like, what the fuck is this? This is so dumb. Why do they get their own house? I'm like, why is Bella the main character? Like, is Alice not married to Jasper? Is Emmett not married to Rosalie? Is Carlisle not married to whatever the fuck his, like, nameless, boring wife that does nothing and has no relevant plot moment is? Are they not all also fucking banging? Nah, only Bella and Edward get it. And then it hit me. I was like, wait, that's the house they send the newlyweds to when they're first vampires to fuck in, because it's going to be annoying. And they said, yep, that's true, actually. They literally confirmed that. And I was like, what? And then Alice is like, haha, I fully furnished it for you. I got it already. Girl, get off the ground. Get off the fucking ground. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. What do you mean? Oh, I just had a Sunday afternoon, so I thought, well, I've seen 1,000 visions of the future where they're fucking, and that was really fun, so I'm gonna make it a reality now. What are you talking? I swear to God, I will lose my mind. Fully furnished with what, Alice? Are you crouched in the living room waiting for Bella to sit on you? Because you're acting like a goddamn stool. What the fuck are you talking about? You goddamn dust-ridden fucking old-ass grandma couch-looking piece of shit. Alice, there's nothing even wrong with you, but why are you obsessed with this who gives you nothing? Ugh. God. Dude. Sorry, Big Gert got me. I got too excited. I got too hype. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Alfred, thank you for 19 months. I agree, Jelly Star. Alice is very beautiful. The actress is great. The hairstyle, everybody loves the fucking cool feathered hair. They really do. Every fucking young girl was cutting their hair in high school trying to get the Alice look, and you know you can't do that. Thank you for the crown, Nitro Rugrat. I could say his rants are cute and you can't do anything about it because he's stuck in the abyss. Oh, yeah? Well, you're banned. That's right. Bad timing, motherfucker. My negative luck, it goes to everybody. How do you like that? Now you get it. I'm going to lose it. I'm actually going to lose it. All right. Are we all set? Big Gert, are we good? No, we're not. No, we were not, in fact, good. I should not have asked Big Gert if we were good. Big Gert said, and cut. Very comedic, motherfucker. Oh, hey, thanks for the soup and car. Yeah, nice try. You're banned for life. You earned yourself a global ban forever. Bro, I'm watching my like kilobytes per second shoot up to like 400,000 and then slowly inch away down to zero over and over and over and over again. Fuck up Supreme indeed. Nobody tells me when to cut my streams off. I don't care if Big Gert has a problem with it. They can fucking deal with it. I'm the streamer and they're gonna... Okay. Nice. This is it. This is my day now. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna sit here and just fucking, I guess, do battle with Big Gert. I don't give a shit. I will stream as long as it takes to put the thorn directly up their fucking urethra. So help me God, I will throw a shrapnel grenade down their esophagus. I will smite their bloodline. I will find every employee behind Big Gert and I will tear down the foundations of the internet in this world and the next. I will find them and they will rue the goddamn day they decided to fuck with Crimzon Rulez. The streams will run Crimzon before I'm done. Oh, hey guys, I'm back. Sorry. Hi, Mugs. Hi, Alza. Thanks for the soup. Anyway, I'm the streamer and they're gonna have to fucking deal with it. Possibly, Josephina. Thank you for 19 months, by the way. You'd probably get another Q&A. Hell, I might even do it live. Who knows? You have my sword. Go. Fight Big Gert. Okay, Ingrid. Thank you for the soup. I will take your sword. And my axe. All right. God damn, dude. Anyway, it's just... Twilight's just, it has so many fucking problems. And this is just the characters so far, right? Like, I haven't even talked about the inconsistencies or like the main character syndrome or how like the whole world bends over backwards to make Bella feel like she's the most important special ooh-woo being in the universe, but has no actual drive, goals, or personality or anything interesting. Even the stupid fuck house, right? The fuck house scene, Bella and Edward are like getting it on or whatever. It's so hot. And Bella's like, oh, like, wow, wow, this whole house is just for us. And Edward drops the fucking bomb of like, nah, it's for anybody who gets newlywed. Emmett and Rosaline were here for like ever, for like a decade. And Bella's like, I think we'll be here longer. And they literally go back to the main house the day after. The day after. Fucking Emmett catches him and is like, wait, you guys are back already? He's like, huh? Oh. Like, well, where was all that big talk, brother? Where was that, oh, we'll need it longer? Emmett's literally like, huh? Oh, all right. And you want to know why they're back already? Because Edward doesn't like Bella. Sorry. I'm not kidding. It's almost as if this was a poorly written series meant to be a teenage fulfillment fantasy and nothing more. I don't care. Put it out there, I criticize it. That's how it works. I am the epitome of the guy who's like, I'm not a hater, but I am. Don't worry, I am. Don't worry. I am. I'll do it for you. I'll be the hero the world needed. Oh my God, finally. Just what the internet needed. A white guy who's willing to critique things that have nothing to do with him. Finally, someone is brave enough to step up and take the mantle and put it on their shoulders. And it's me. I'm ready. I'm ready to be the hero you needed. It's him. It's the one criticism man. It's bitch boy. He's here. He's here to bitch. And I will. I'll complain until till my voice gives out. I'll complain until the planet ends. When the inevitable heat death of the universe approaches and entropy comes calling at your doorstep to stop the atoms in your very fucking body because you've run out of the energy to literally move, when all force is drained from this reality, my hate, my cantankerous bullshit, my whiny complaining about like the intricacies of world building that don't belong in a story that's about teenage fulfillment, it will remain. My heat will keep this universe running through just raw, pointless criticism of things that do not merit that criticism. You're welcome. That's true. Big Gert's coming for me. I gotta be careful. It's important to have hobbies. Yeah. Yeah, actually, you know what? An adult wrote this. I don't even give it the teenage fantasy pass. Fuck this. Okay, so moving forward, Alice is cool, but just a fulfillment fantasy for Bella to be like, wow, what if I had a best friend who like did everything for me and I had to contribute nothing? Okay, annoying. Very annoying. I don't like that. Alice's actress, very beautiful, super cool hairstyle. I'm also a sucker for the feathered hair look. It's super cool. No one can actually pull it off unless you want to use a lot of hairspray in 4 hours every morning. All right, moving on. Can we talk about how dirty the author and the movies did Rosalie, though? No, because they did it. They really were they were evil to Rosalie. Whatever. They were evil to Rosalie, and it was not cool. The hero we need, but not the one we deserve. Thanks for the soup, Meepy Boy. Rosalie is the one with no superpowers who's just always pissed off all the time. I think that's her superpower. She's more beautifulier than the other vampires, I think, is technically what they give her as her power. That's it. I don't even think that's a power. I think she just happens to be good looking, I guess. I don't fucking know. She's just mad sometimes. Shrug. You don't remember her backstory? You don't want to remember her backstory. It's pretty bad. It's pretty brutal. And Jasper is the character who had no personality, no drive, and no lore until they decided they needed to give him some, and then they slid a fucking southern accent in there out of kind of nowhere. So yeah. The accent was something, dude. She knew Ella was horrible to Edward. Rosalie, the only real one? Probably. Didn't they make Jasper a Confederate soldier? Yup. Yeah, well, there you go. Anyway, moving on. Thank you for your hard work. I now know more than I needed to about Twilight. You're welcome, Tinko. And thank you for 18 months. Let's talk a little bit about the world building of this, right? And how this could have been a more interesting story and why I'm angry. And I don't have like a bunch of written down points or anything. I'm just going to touch on some things that particularly pissed me off as a person while watching and things I would have done if I were I'm not a writer. As much as I criticize this work, it was written down. Someone took the time to write it, edit it, write it again, edit it, write it again. That is incredibly hard. That is not easy. Not everybody can do that. I've never done that. However, off the top of my head, here's what I would have focused on as an author and things I wish had been focused on as an author. Ways this story could have been better, in my opinion. 1. Why the fuck did we not focus on the vampires, the Cullens, right? First of all, Carlisle is objectively the most interesting character in this narrative. If the story was about Carlisle, this would have been very interesting. Or if at any point Carlisle had sat down and talked to Bella or Edward and given his perspective as an immortal who is also the facilitator of the Cullen family existing and the facilitator of this sort of weird ethical pseudo-vegan vampire lifestyle. If Carlisle had talked about how he became a doctor, how he overcame his thirst, how he kind of like eventually transcended the life of a vampire, how he finds peace with immortality and with being like a creature that is a vehicle of death naturally while focusing on making sure he preserves life as a doctor, that would have been interesting. We didn't do that. We did not do that. If we had talked about any of the characters and their perspective on Edward and how they feel about Edward's relationship to Bella, that could have been interesting. I think it would have been interesting to pick somebody like Rosalie's brain about how she feels, not just about Bella, because it's always about Bella, right? So one of the scenes in the show, Bella's like, why do you hate me? And Rosalie's like, I don't hate you. I'm jealous of you. I wish I could have chosen not to do this. You have a choice and you're choosing wrong. You are immortal. You're going to choose to be immortal and eternal, but you're going to be stagnant forever and you can't move forward with your life or continue it. And I wish you wouldn't do that. Fine. That's interesting introspection. That's an interesting perspective to take. Now let's take a look at somebody like, I don't know, Alice or Emmett, or give Emmett any dialogue at all, or take a look at Jasper, and let's ask them how they feel about Edward. I feel we should have gone through the motion of at least seeing how they confront the idea of like, yes, it is strange that Edward's doing this. Yes, it is strange that Edward is bringing somebody willingly into this lifestyle. However, we've watched him be a mopey loser for 100 years. We know he's depressed. We know he thinks he's a creature of sin and nightmares and that he is bad by nature. And we hope this makes him happy. It would be interesting to watch that conflict within the other vampires of like, this is objectively, morally, probably not a good thing he's doing, but we love him like a brother and we want him to be happy. That would have been interesting, but they sure didn't do that. I don't even know what Midnight Sun is, so no. But yeah, it's a little annoying that like a lot of these perspectives aren't written from. Even like the few scenes where we see Jacob interacting with that young werewolf and his sister, that would have made a better solo series. I would have rather watched Jacob in the fucking wolf pack. Like, I'd have rather watched that. They had more chemistry in the 30 seconds they got on screen alone than the entire vampire cast, just in general. Very annoying, very frustrating. Midnight Sun is Edward's side of the story. It's bad. Of course it is. Of course it is. Once I almost wrote a fanfic where Charlie was the main character, and he would have formed a throuple with Carlisle and Esme. Whoa. You're saying he had the language to describe the polyamory that Jacob couldn't? Whoa. Incredible. And thank you for the soup, by the way. That would have been a better story still. Hakitos! Welcome in. Thank you, Aka, for the raid. My name is Crimzon Rulez. I'm Elysium's greatest monster hunter. I am the Midwest Fantasy VTuber. I'm your least favorite idol, and today I'm discussing the Twilight series and why I'm frustrated with it. I just got done ranting about Alice and also Edward and Jacob. Play what? I ain't playing no fucking Silent Hill. You're out of your damn mind. No, thank you. Thanks for the raid, though. And thank you, Servaday, for the 10 gifted chips. Damn. I'm not playing Silent Hill F. No, thank you. Dude, it's so fucking good. Imanahe, thank you for the 10 gifted chips. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I ain't playing no Silent Hill F. No, thank you. Nuh-uh. You'll hold my hand? Oh. Oh. You don't have to give me another reason not to play. I already wasn't gonna. I'm sorry, that was mean. Truly evil. It's true. Hey, welcome to Morning Latte. It's where I talk about whatever I'm thinking about this week. This week it's Twilight. It's not even a scary. Even a coward like you can handle it. Trust. First of all, not a coward. Second of all, I don't care. Ailsaw the Brewer. Please, that's such a good story about female psychology and suppression. It's so good. This is coming from a non-horror gamer as well. I'm still not playing it. You know what? Maybe at 100K I'll consider it. But listen, there's a lot of good horror games out there with good analyses of different types of psychology and such. But sorry, I gotta stick to my guns. Sorry. Thanks for 16 months though. I might just read a little synopsis of it. Maybe. It depends. While you were revisiting old teen novels, you should read the Ugly series and tell us how you feel about that world building. I've never read the Uglies. What is it? What's it about? Also, thank you for the soup. Subscribe to help the 100K horror game stream goal. Bleh. Not me subscribing on my alt to get you. Hey, wait a minute. That's cheating. Now allow it. Making 7K alts right now. You're an animal. Good morning, King. Here's $1 because my movie ticket, Tom, is free. Wait, your movie ticket tomorrow's free? What? Didn't even get me any popcorn. But hey, thank you for throwing. Thank you for slicing a little cheddar off top of that and sliding it my way. Oh yeah, Dragonfly. I've heard about that. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. You guys are getting me off topic. I was turning it around. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, the ways this could have been more interesting. Different perspectives it could have been written from. Different things they could have touched upon. Also, the world building that they just immediately scrap. Like, oh, werewolves, in their human form aren't that dangerous. Bella can apparently slap a werewolf, no problem. But she punches a werewolf in their human form and she shatters her fist, which is insane. Or apparently a werewolf can take a, absolute pummeling from her when she's a new blood, which is apparently such a strong type of vampire. They're just so strong. New bloods are so dangerous. Meanwhile, they win a fight against an army of new bloods somehow. And when Bella's a new blood and the strongest in the house because she's the main character, she can't hurt Jacob. She could punch Jacob in the chest in human form and he's fine. He deals with it. He shrugs it off. And then she yells at him about the Loch Ness Monster, which is funny. Objectively funny. Finrear Live says, if you like Twilight's potential, check out the Mercy Thompson books. They're pulpy, but they have cool world building and awesome characters, especially the main character whose self-destructive altruism is peak. That sounds really good. I'll take a look at it. Thank you. And thank you for the soup. Thank you, Finrear. Carla says, got my chips and Super Zeta merch, and everything tastes better in the 10 out of 10 chip and soup vessel. Let's fucking go, brother. Congratulations. Send pictures of soup. You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster? That was funny. I'm sorry. Danny, thank you for the soup as well. And the popcorn. Trekkie says, Meyer also wrote a gender swap version of Twilight, but it's bad because all the characters are exactly the same besides pronouns, except Bella's parents aren't swapped because single mothers shouldn't have custody. Oh. Cool. Yay. Well, anyway, like I said, I am both legally obligated to not talk about lifestyle choices, and also I am obligated by the rule of no bummers to not talk about lifestyle choices, no matter what my personal thoughts on them are. So instead, I will give you a thinly veiled air of disapproval that anybody could read through, but somebody will misinterpret anyway because they want to willingly take my lack of discourse or put words in my mouth as a confirmation of their biases or confirmation of a reason to dislike me, which is fine because I like when they dislike me. Anyway, I see that corporate color glowing. You better believe it, baby. No, you said color. It's too late. So, Crimzon Rulez hates moms? True. Every mom. Every mom. Somebody just got hurt by that. Somebody got stabbed in the heart. Somebody said, damn, he's serious. He hates me. No, I don't. Chill. You're all right. Brother, Zuna says, what was your favorite of the vampire powers? I'm not going to answer your question. Instead, I'm going to use your question as a vehicle to leapfrog into my next point that I'm super fucking pissed about. Stephanie Meyer so clearly wanted to write a fucking X-Men novel. Why didn't you just write an X-Men novel, dude? You wanted a superhero fanfic. You wanted to write about superheroes, and you decided to write about sparkly fucking vampires anyway. And also, while I'm on the fucking topic, why the fuck do the vampires not have any of the problems of being a vampire? Like, yeah, you're damn right, Bella's like, ooh, I want to be fucking immortal at 18. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. What's the downside? Edward's like, oh, it's such a cursed existence. You don't get it. You have to watch everybody around you die. Why? Why? Why do I have to watch everybody around me die? Why, Edward? Why can't everybody be a vampire? There's no downside. There's no downside. There's no problems. There's no bad part to being a vampire in this universe. You don't die in the sun. The water's not an issue. You're immortal. You don't have to shit. You don't have to eat. You don't have to sleep. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. Half of you get actual X-Men superpowers. What the fuck? You don't have any of the interesting allegory or metaphor around vampires and the suffering they have to undergo with immortality and how a half-life lived forever is not better than a life lived fully. No, none of that. You get to live forever and you're still a mopey, whiny bitch about it. You can play any video game. You can read every book, but instead you sit in your fucking house and cry. Fuck off. Ah! True Babylon Goggles. Thanks for the soup. Dude, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Like, yeah, you told an 18-year-old you could be young forever, have, like, the perfect fucking, like, musculature, no, like, disease or age or anything going wrong with you. You don't have to sleep. You don't have to eat. You don't have to do anything. Read your books, play your games, hang out with your loved ones. Doesn't matter. And if you want them to live forever, you can make them live forever because they could just go and eat a fucking deer. I don't give a shit if they're hungry. Apparently, they could choose a fucking vegan lifestyle. So it's not really that big a deal. I showed my guy friend Twilight in the middle of the series, and this is the first time he had to question everything. And it makes them prettier, apparently, somehow. So Rosalie kind of got fucked out of her superpower. Everybody's pretty. You can't hate the series more than Robert Pattinson himself. Yes, I can. I'm so mad, dude. I'm so mad, dude. Jasper's powers annoy me. Yeah, Jasper's powers annoy me too. You want to know why? Because he doesn't fucking use them. He doesn't fucking use them. Use your superpowers, you dumb motherfucker. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. They just write shit to write shit. Nothing's even happening. Jasper's superpower is he can manipulate people's emotions and make them feel some type of way, which is great, except he doesn't use it, except for one-liner where someone's like, Jasper, no fair using your powers on me. And it's like a little fucking like it's a short story beat for a second that he made someone like a little bit happier than they should have been. Motherfucker could have literally just walked up to the Volturi and be like, actually, you're deathly afraid of me now. You are deathly afraid of me. That's it. That's all you had to do. No, I won't use my powers in any combative sense. Why would I do that? Huh? Do it, Blue Bat. Watch the marathon. Thank you for 3 months. Watch it and be mad. Maybe he was using it the whole time and he's actually the main villain. Yeah, maybe. You feel like you're gonna shit your pants. Exactly. He could have been like, listen, Jasper is dealing with a bunch of immortal people who haven't felt bodily functions in millennia. All he had to do was, yeah, Thomas, unironically, make a vampire feel like they're gonna shit their pants. Do you know how disturbing that would be after 100 years of not using the bathroom? You probably forgot what that feels like. Make a vampire feel like they're gonna shit their pants. That would be the funniest use of your powers. I cast loosen your bowels. They'd be like, damn it. You can't get rid of you can't get rid of the feeling. I'm just saying. He's not the main character? Who, Jasper? Well, yeah, he's not the main character. He just needs to fucking use his powers in a believable way. You know who else isn't the main character? Fucking Bakugo. They still use him. He still exists. I don't know. Legolas ain't the main character. He's still out there fucking one-shotting orcs and shit. Kiwi, thank you for 14 months. That's insane, Kiwi, but I'm glad to hear it. That's right. Jasper literally used his power on Bella, who's immune to superpowers. She's immune to superpowers, but for that one funny ha-ha moment so that Bella could have an ounce of personality for a second, he got to use his powers on her. For why? For why? Charlie was done dirty. I'm not done talking about these superpowers. I am not done. Why was Emmett out arm wrestled by Bella? Oh, because she's a new blood. She's the strongest in the house right now. Shut the fuck up. His literal only superpower that is said from day one is that he's stronger than other vampires. He's super strong. In a world where these people can throw trucks willingly, when you say he's super strong, I want this motherfucker to pick up a house. I do not accept that he can lift like 2 more kilograms than them, okay? No. That's not super strong. That's like being like, yeah, my buddy Kevin, he can actually bench press 220, but I can only bench press 215. That's not super strength. What are you saying? Huh? I mean, if his power's being strong and she's immune to power... Okay, so when Bella touches Rosalie, does she turn into a fucking... Does she jump into the young adult novel The Uglies? Is that what happens? Huh? If Bella touches Jasper, does he turn into an emotionless husk? Her powers block powers from affecting her, not other people. It doesn't make sense! I'm so mad, dude. I'm so mad, dude. And then the whole New Bloods arc was just fucking incredibly stupid. It could have been interesting, but it was dumb. Why the fuck did this one random fucking vampiress have a better idea for how to deal with these vampire Cullens than the entire Volturi? And why didn't the Cullens use the same fucking plan to fight the Volturi? Has nobody ever thought of this? Oh, well, New Bloods are so dangerous. They're unstoppable. They're so powerful. No one could compete against them. The Volturi show up with like 20 dudes. 20 fucking dudes. Nobody in the history of vampires has thought, oh, I'll just change 40 people and then send them at the Volturi to kill them. Nobody? Come on. I'm so mad, dude. Oh, I'm so mad, dude. Can we talk about the baby? Was she born a vampire? Yes. Is she gonna grow up? Yes. In 7 years, apparently. Which is supposed to make it okay, I guess, that Jacob falls in love with a baby. And not only does that not make it okay, do you think about the consequences of what you're saying right now? Jacob is an 18-year-old boy who fell in love with a baby. First of all, ew. Fucking brother, brother. Second of all, even if she's a fully grown adult by 7 years old, she's gonna have the mind of a child. And even if she doesn't, she doesn't age. He's a fucking werewolf, not an immortal. So she's gonna be fucking an adult until he's an old dead man, and then he's dead. Then what? What's Jacob gotta follow the fucking Cullens around for the next, I don't know, 80 years of his life before he dies? He's gotta fucking hang out with these losers, watch them be immortal until he dies? And then what happens to her fucking soulmate if they're bonded by soul or whatever? Then what? Huh? Then what? It doesn't... I'm gonna... Ooh. I'm so mad, dude. Mility, thanks for being a Ruze. Sorry. Mochi says, monthly appreciation time. Thank you all for all of the glorious yap sessions. I swear they become more unhinged every time I catch them. Wishing everyone well in their endeavors. Thank you for a year and a half. I have never read Interview with a Vampire, no. It's implied that why Jacob was in love with Bella was her future baby. That's so fucking weird, dude. That's so fucking weird. Bella, no. You don't understand. It's not like that. I'm just in love with your eggs, Bella. I'm sorry, what? Pardon? Yeah, dude, it's just, let me get a sniff of those eggs, baby girl. What? What did you just say? Also, you know what? While we're talking about gross shit, I don't want to be nasty, but, Edward, all of you fucking Cullens, there are very few worse places you could put yourself in than around, like, a fucking high school. If you're a bunch of vampires who are trying so hard not to hurt people, you put yourself in a situation where you were around a bunch of vulnerable, like, undefended children. It's so weird. It's so nasty. You guys are fucking freaks for that. You put yourself in maybe the worst scenario of vulnerable people who cannot protect themselves, and you're like, oh, we do this every once in a while because, like, reasons. And then we make a graduation cap wall. It's weird. It's creepy. And aside from all of that, it's dangerous and cruel. It's not okay. You guys are so evil for that. Why aren't they living on a fucking oil rig? And if it's, oh, because, like, it's already torturous enough to be a vampire, like, why can't we live life? Fuck off. Go fuck yourself. You're in the era of modern media. Go watch fucking, I don't know, fucking Chris Angel Mind Freak or something. Go do something with yourself. Jesus fucking Christ. I know you got something better to do than hang out in high school. Write a book. Watch TV. I don't know, dude. They own an island. Maybe multiple. Would they subsist on fish blood if they lived on an oil rig? Yeah, why not? They're trying to live as normal a life as they can. That's what I get. Hey, man. A 109-year-old boy going to high school for like the 27th time ain't normal. He could get a job. Let him get a job. They should get into VTubers? No. Walking in and out of this rant while doing laundry is the best choice. Let's fucking go. They have so much money that they're bored with it. That I could accept, maybe. But even then, dude, like, why high school? Go to a college if you want to better yourself or learn something, or like be around, like, I guess the vibrancy of life or whatever. Like, why, man? Why? I don't get it. Yeah, let Edward work at a lighthouse. That's traditionally gone very well for Robert Pattinson. Come on. They could be VTubers. Bro, I'm not kidding. I am actually a little frustrated with the superpower thing because it's implied their superpowers manifest in minor forms before they become vampires. So I guess Rosalie's superpower is that she's like super beautiful, and that probably manifested before she was a vampire. And Bella's superpower is that she's immune to superpowers, I guess, and that manifested by her being unable to have her mind read or some shit. And my question is, was Emmett super strong before this? Did he get fucking robbed of his, like, Smallville arc? And could he have just been a superhero? Is this set in the same universe as The Incredibles? That's what I'm asking. Could Emmett just be a superhero instead of a vampire? Necronomicon says, I need more movie analyzing. Can we have these regularly where you can't squish in a book club? Movie club. I'll think about it. Also, thank you for the soup. That would be smart, actually. You're never too sober for me to derail something, Puffy. That's my job. That's my thing. That's my jam. Could Edward read vibes before turning? Edward was an empath before turning. That's it. Would your superpower be surgically criticizing any media? My superpower is... I'm an empath. My superpower is most people aren't as clever as they think they are, and they're easy to read because they wear their fucking emotions on their sleeves and they think they're good manipulators, but it's actually transparent as fuck. Ooh. Sorry. Edward was 6'1" and respected women before turning? Oh my god, that's crazy. He did that? Damn. Damn, dude. Did he drink matcha lattes? Oh. Was he also reading feminist literature? Yes. Yes. I actually just watched a fucking video about performative males, and I think that's kind of funny. Oh, yes, your superpower is being neurospicy all along. You're at a convention watching? Brother, go to your convention. You're 100% right, Starry Candy. You're 100% right. That is exactly what Bella is, yes. It was the Curtis Connor video, Menard. How'd you know that? He didn't say folks and clap his hand, though, so I hate him. Shaming got bastardized into shaming people for their genuine interests, says Yofi. Yeah, I agree. I think that obviously there's a line to be drawn there. There's always been performative people. There will always be performative people. And obviously, you're going to get people who, like, are shamed for being performative. And sometimes rightfully so. I'm going to say it. I think gatekeeping can be funny sometimes. I think gatekeeping within the right context, within the right use case, and with a heavy dose of what's the word I'm looking for? When used with a very light, gentle touch is a good thing. I think gatekeeping certain people out of certain spaces is a good thing. That's it. However, usually that only applies to people who have bad reasons to be in a space. But I think that performative people can be very annoying, and I get that. It can be very annoying to deal with people who don't actually like the things you like and pretend to like it because they want you to like them, etc., etc. That can be very frustrating to tolerate, and especially when it becomes an en masse problem where people constantly do it. However, I think that you cannot know off rip just from looking at someone if they're being performative. You have to at least let them open their dumb mouth and reveal themselves to be performative first. And I think maybe as a society, we have a bad habit of looking at someone and making a snap judgment without first hearing them out. And that's not good. Is being performative similar to going through a phase? So I think being performative is different because the goals differ. I think performative is defined by what you seek to get out of the performance. Going through a phase is more, I feel like, trying to find yourself, and it's about self-discovery, right? So like if you go through an emo phase, or you go through a fucking, I don't know, a nerd phase, and you're just trying to find new things to be interested in, or you're trying to find a group to belong with or a place to belong, and you're just kind of awkward about it and you haven't quite figured it out, that's one thing. Performative is largely defined by pretending to be a certain way without a genuine interest in those things, with the sole goal of being liked, often by an individual within that group that you were trying to perform as, or, you know, by that group as a whole. So performative woke males is the current topic that people are super popular about talking about. And I don't want to get super into this because it's probably not the right space to do that. And I don't have the platform where we could talk with the nuance we need to talk about that. However, performative feminism or performative woke males is a current media thing that seems to be relatively popular, and it's the idea that guys will try to appear less threatening or more like interested in feminist literature or matcha lattes or dressing in like soft boy core in the attempts to get women to like them or feel safe around them so that they can take advantage of that safety. Is this the case? I think that a lot of people are just going through a phase or are truly looking for themselves and are trying to find a place to belong. However, you can usually fucking tell pretty quick if someone's being performative. I've worked with a lot of performative dudes who are performatively like intellectuals, air quotes, or performatively like hyper feminist, or performatively a lot of things. Performatively, like, honestly, even the idea of hypermasculinity is usually performative, and it's a show you put on for other men so you can appear like one of the boys. So, you know, it depends. It depends. They want the image, status, or benefits of knowing the thing without actually putting in the work to know the thing. Yeah, basically. But I will say, specifically in the context of performatively, like, performative men and the current scenario we're talking about, I mean, if it's getting them to read literature that broadens their perspective, that's probably a net good, dude. Is this what my generation called being a poser? Yes, that is what you're thinking of. It's being a poser with a goal. Are they just reading the book? Are they reading the book or just carrying the book? I don't know, dude. It's on an individual basis. Like I said, don't judge a book by its cover, brother. Don't just assume that they're being performative because they're carrying around a book that seems like it's for status. Maybe, I mean, if you care enough, get to talking to them and see if they, I don't know, are actually learning anything or growing as a person or doing whatever it is they're trying to pretend to do or actually doing. You never know, dude. You never know. The point is that they don't read that literature, nor do they intend to, but you don't know. You can't know if they're actually doing that. The point is, yes, some are, some aren't. Ice-Ski, that's exactly what I was going to equate it to. You're right. Ice-Ski says, Loki reminds me of the fake gamer girl claims that used to go around years ago. 100%. That is exactly what we're dealing with. We've just flipped the narrative. So the idea is that if a girl is wearing, a few years ago, the idea was if a girl was wearing any sort of memorabilia that was nerdy or associated with, like, you know, young men liking it, that they were being performative to make young men like them or to seem like one of the boys. You can't know that because you don't know that person. There's red flags, there's behaviors that can clue you in to if they're being performative, but you can't know it off rip just because they're repping some sort of media or, you know, some franchise that you think is for men. You don't know that. Just like if a dude's wearing or reading, I don't fucking know what you consider performatively male media, fucking Anne Rice or whatever. If a guy's reading that, that doesn't mean he's being performative. You don't know. You gotta, unfortunately, this is the reality. You don't know about someone until you talk to them or hear them talk. That sucks. But it's the truth. The script is flipped, and I'm gonna fucking say it. I think a part of this script is specifically to scare young men off of, like, broadening the perspective and taking feminist literature. I think it's a shaming tactic. I think that some people are actually feeling a little bit threatened or feeling annoyed by performative people in their spaces, but I think a good portion of this is people recognizing they can use this narrative to shame people who are trying to broaden their perspectives. I think a good portion of this is you don't know this, but you are inadvertently pushing the agenda by shaming these people out of these spaces without actually checking whether or not they're genuinely interested in being in these spaces. You are pushing an agenda for people who don't want you to exist, and that sucks. You don't know you're doing this, but you're pushing their agenda. So don't do that. Just give people a chance. Let them be a part of your space, man. This applies to a lot of spaces. I know somebody out there's like, oh, here comes woke Ruze. Here comes woke Ruze talking about feminism. And see, he must be, wow, he's so performative himself. That's fine. Think what you want, brother. You can think what you want about me. However, I think this applies to many spaces, not just feminism. This applies to a lot of different things. There are many spaces that young men, young women, and non-binary people try to get into or put themselves into and understand that they are run out of because they are seen as being performative. And that is fair because sometimes people are performative, but give people a chance. Let people try to be a part of that space. Woke Woos is a good VT. Shit, I should have. Damn, what's wrong with me? Why didn't my parents name me Woos? Don't assume the worst from Jump Street. Yeah. Performative meaning, well, we just talked about this, Lord V, but performative meaning somebody who doesn't actually intend to be a part of that culture or space and is just acting out being a part of it so that they can be well-liked or gain something from it. We did arrive at this topic through Twilight somehow. Now, obviously, this does not come at the expense of your boundaries. Lay down your boundaries. Don't let somebody push past them. You know, make sure that you're staying safe out there and that you're keeping, you know, a critical eye on anybody in your spaces, anybody you interact with, just to be safe. but, you know, give people a chance. I don't drink matcha. That shit's disgusting. Sorry, woke. Sorry, feminism. I don't like matcha. I think it tastes like cut grass. Sorry, guys. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I'm sorry I failed you, performative people. Not my feminist king. Yeah, I don't like matcha. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Matcha's kind of ass. And honestly, most boba, it's just okay. Well, Lily Gilly. Lily Gilly says, to the point of Curtis Connor, he's being called performative entirely based off the appearances by people who clearly haven't listened to his takes or seen his content. Curtis Connor's being called performative because he doesn't subscribe to their ideal of masculinity and because he thinks that, like, he has occasionally said that women should have an opinion and rights. And to some people, that is enough to be performative. To some people, it is unthinkable, unbelievable that somebody would say that equality is a good ideal to live up to, or equity in some cases. They just don't believe that anybody could ever think that truly, and that it is entirely performative and it's to earn something. And to that, I say, if you live in a reality where you believe that everybody ever who has a moral compass and wants a world where people can all be on equal footing is performative, you are objectively, genuinely a very pessimistic and probably very bad person. At best, I hope that you feel beaten down by the world and you are sad that the world is the way you believe it is. At worst, I think that you want it to be that way and you feel you'll benefit from it. And you know what? Fuck you very much. I hope you get what you deserve. Grisby, thanks for 15 months. Can't wait for the rage bait headline. Crimzon Rulez hates women in matcha. True. That headline's coming. I did say earlier I don't like moms. Oops. At best, I hope you get better and you stop being so jaded and cynical. At worst, I hope you get what you deserve. Number one mom hater. I hate everyone. I hate everyone. That's so true. Can we get a true in chat, please? True. Dude, my hot girl tummy issues have been crazy lately. Anyway, the point of all of this is not to, like, demonize people. Just give people a chance in your spaces. Let them try to be a part of your community if they actually have a genuine interest. But obviously, keep your boundaries strong. Make sure you're enforcing your boundaries. Don't let people, like, step past those. Speaking of boundaries, while I've got you here, read those rules, brothers. Don't step past my boundaries. There are some things, the unspoken rule, which I guess I'm going to write down as rule number 1. I'm going to rework the rules here in a minute. Rule number 1 will forever be, and it's been an unspoken rule or one that I just say, is no bummers. So in the future, please don't bring up my dead mother. That's still pretty fresh, having happened last year, and it is something I can deal with as an adult man who is well-adjusted and emotionally able to bottle up my feelings until I experience them 3 years later in the dead of night when I'm by myself. But I'll also have loss that is fresh and new, and they don't have to confront that when they're here to see a silly anime man. Thank you. Okay. Big Gert, are you serious? Now? Wow. Okay, pardon me. Let me finish my statement again, Big Gert. It is not that big a deal. I am not hurt. I'm an adult man. I know how to suppress my emotions until I confront them when I'm alone at 3 a.m. in the morning 4 years after the thing happens. However, there are people in chat who do not know how to do that or don't want to do that and are here to see a silly anime man. Let's try to keep the topics light. No bummers. Thank you. Thank you, ISP. Great timing, you son of a bitch. You made that seem way heavier than it needed to be. Performative ISP who hates boundaries. True. True. Dandelion gets it. I don't care about your mom jokes. I'm not hurt. I know you're not talking about my mom. You're chill. It's okay. Let's just try to keep the heavy topics to a minimum if we can help it. I know you're not talking about my mom if you make mom hater jokes or you make a your mom joke. I don't give a shit. That doesn't hurt my feelings. You're fine. Mabim bam rules to abide by. That would have been an amazing punchline. That's true. But it also would have made it seem a lot harsher than it was. And I don't mean to be harsh, but this does apply to rule number 6, which is sometimes I'm going to call out shit that I see. It's not an attack on you or anyone, because it's happened multiple times for multiple different people. It is just a reinforcement of boundaries. If I was attacking you, I would ban you. Okay, there we go. We did it. I got the loudest ad. Iwashi, why did you get an ad at that time? That's evil. Do you know the number of your rules by heart? Girl, I barely know what my rules are by heart. I just recognize when they're broken. Rules are made for me to only recognize them when I'm like, wait a minute, that's against the rules. No, I'm done with Twilight. I've ranted about Twilight enough. I went on enough Twilight rants, brother. But I will talk about another thing I've been thinking about this week. And this is about where we get into the segment where I just talk about a bunch of random bullshit that are not interconnected in any way. One thing I've been thinking about this week is how it's weird that some animals have 3 eyes. Isn't that crazy? I didn't think there was any animals that had 3 eyes, but then I Googled it and some lizards do. Can you believe that? I didn't believe it. Yeah. They've got eyes on the top of their head that's covered by skin, and it's just for sensing light. I'm assuming from like eagles and shit above them. I'm serious. Google it. Be like, do lizards have 3 eyes? Google that. Isn't it a vestigial eye that can only detect movement? Yeah, but isn't that crazy? Imagine, okay, so like one way to imagine this, because I know people are often like, well, how would you see like that? Like, what would that look like? And I think this one's doable, right? And it's interesting that you can do it. What you need to do is close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Motherfucker, close your eyes. Stop. Jeez, come on, dude, for like a second. You're not going to miss chat. All right, so close your eyes. Now, put your hand in front of your eyelid and notice how you can detect the change in light from your screen when your hand's blocking it. I imagine that's what it's like seeing through that third eye. They just get like one eye is detecting light, essentially. Isn't that cool? That's fucking sick, dude. Uh-huh. I did not catch any horror movies this season. Oh, actually, that's not true. I watched The Village, but it ended up being a thriller, not a horror movie. Didn't know if you were going to mess with us there. Nah. Not this time. Can we open our eyes? No. But you're typing, so I know you opened your eyes because you hunt and peck, motherfucker. I sense it. I feel it in my heart. I know it, Yofi. Snakes have heat sensory organs. Oh. Damn. Dude, I want to watch Over the Garden Wall. I haven't watched that since I first watched it. I want to watch it again. That would be so cool. What's wrong with Hunt and Peck? What's wrong with it is how long it took you to type that, to come back at me after I said you're a Hunt and Peck motherfucker, Mick. Ow, my fingers, dude. Yeah, birds sensing magnetic fields and obviously bats echolocation. Yeah, the lizard thing got me thinking about like weird evolutionary traits that are unique to specific animals, like webbing for spiders, or like echolocation is not unique to bats, but I believe they're the only mammal that does it. And just think about how insane it is that a creature evolved the ability to scream at a frequency that can create shapes in their mind when it gets back to their ears. That's crazy. Yeah, some lizards shoot blood from their eyes. Exactly, Babylon Goggles. Some spiders weaponize the hairs on their butts as, like, irritants or spines to throw at their enemies. Some ants can fire acid. That's crazy, dude. I do not have a third eye, Narrative Demon. Also, I haven't seen Yofi pop back up since I clocked him for being Hunt and Peck. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, brother. I was kidding. You're good. You type however you want. Can't beluga whales use echolocation? Yeah, but those aren't mammals. Those are water mammals. That's different. I did not know that, Schlin. That's crazy. I recently watched a video that compared Over the Garden Wall to Dante's Inferno, and now I can't unsee it. I saw that video recommended, but I didn't watch it. I'd be interested to watch that. Also, thanks for 15 months, Jojo. And we just got standing upright. We also got insane endurance and sweating. And I mean, like, let's not overstate the importance of, I don't know, obligate sentience. That one kind of worked out for us, considering the absurdity of you sitting in your room in front of a bunch of pieces of metal that are connecting in such a way that they travel electricity through themselves and do a bunch of ones and zeros and yes and no's so that you can communicate an anime man talking to you. So yeah, I think we might have become gods on accident. I do like my magic portal. True. And we did get thumbs. Thumbs are pretty big. Horses sweat. Some animals do sweat besides humans. It's just a very powerful ability. Did it? Would it not be better to be simple creatures? No, I like sentience. Sorry, man. I'm that guy. I'm him. I'm the motherfucker who's like, I alone will bear the burden of sentience. I alone do not give a shit about your nihilistic philosophies about like, oh, well, it would have been better to be ignorant and happy. No, I'd rather be sentient and sad. I'd rather be aware of the absurdity of my situation and the like inevitable like pointlessness of existence and still know more. I want to learn. There is no eldritch horror you could show me that will dominate my mind because I can know all things and bear the burden of any knowledge. I fear nothing. Sorry, dude. Make me an immortal lich. No vampirism could depress me because I'd just be like, all right, cool. I get to learn everything. We tricked rocks into thinking by running electricity through them. That's crazy, Sation, but I believe it. Okay, I do fear texture. That's true. Hippo sweat's orange? That's crazy. I would look God in the eye, and I would eat the apple of Eden in his face. I'd be like, thanks, brother. Yum, 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 yum. And then I'd high-five the serpent. He'd probably bite me, though. Can Ruze carry the burden of sentience for all of us? I just want to be a rock. Okay. Give me your sentience. Stack it on mine. Is it multiplicative? Can I multiply sentience? Yes, little lady. Do you have a question? Okay. She came to the door and yelled at me and left. Green old lady appears at your front door. Oh, hello there. Can you spare a dime for a poor old hot woman like me? What? What happened? Nah, dude, I don't carry cash. You take debit? Thanks for the soup. She did have opinions on sentience. She's clearly jealous. Clearly. Is how Ruzeters achieve instrumentality with Ruze? By finally agreeing to merge consciousness with him? I think that's the way. All right, guys, so let's become like a grave mind. Let me, like... Child of my enemy, why do you become? Father's sins passed on to his son. All right, let's do it, baby. Let's all merge consciousnesses. Let's party. I don't want to turn into a weird flesh monster, though. I like having thumbs. I feel like being a flesh monster would make manipulating like books and keyboard and mouse a little difficult. Humans can throw with more accuracy than any other animal, and we broke the meta. Oops, teehee. Yeah, that was our bad for learning how to like weaponize ranged things. That was pretty shitty of us, actually. I always get mad when people overuse ranged weaponry in video games. I get it, dude. The animal kingdom must be super pissed. Fun fact, the heat sensing nerves and cold sensing nerves are different. So if you eat something spicy and something minty at the same time, it doesn't cancel out. Do what you will with that info. Yeah, that's why I eat peanut butter and jellies with my chili. On the topic of human evolution, look up Homo floresiensis. They are a strand of our evolutionary tree nicknamed the Hobbits. Huh. Yeah, I'll do it right now. I don't give a shit. Jesus, that's terrifying. I don't like it. Huh. Nope, don't like that. Heyo, Siggy. Welcome in. You missed the Twilight rant, but that's okay. This is my first time catching one of your Zotzi streams, and I am so confused, says Blue Leaf. Don't worry about it. I'm going to bounce all over the place. It's just what I be doing. Okay, wait. Are the cats sentient? At what point are we sentient? So, for me, sentience typically means self-awareness, which I don't think any animal other than humans have. However, I think that scientifically sentience is the ability to manipulate your environment using tools and to create tools in some cases. So, for example, the only obligate sentient creature is humans, which is, by obligate sentience, what I mean when I say that is a creature that has to rely on sentience to live. If they were not sentient, they would die. Because without sentience, humans would simply die. Without tools, we could not survive in nature. Now, choosing sentience, but only when it's like necessary or convenient, is something like a crow who can use tools or sticks or things like that or solve puzzles to get things, but they are not reliant on sentience to not die. Does that make sense? Sapience. Sorry, not sentience. You're right. Sapience is the word. Thank you, Trim. I think it's a little arrogant to believe only humans are sentient. We're still animals just like any other. I mean, I guess I'm arrogant. Like, sorry, sapient, not sentient. Sure, lots of animals are sentient. And lots of animals, I'm sure, are vaguely aware of themselves. But do animals have like deeper thoughts about their place in the universe? I doubt it. I don't think I've ever seen a cat be like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't have a purpose, and just go into like a depressed funk. Like, cats can be sad. They can be depressed about things like not getting food or loss or, grieving. But I don't think cats are like self-aware in that context. Empathy, I do not think, is relegated only to sapience. I think you can be empathetic without being sapient. Where's the snail's internet? Oh. A cat with an existential crisis would be horrifying. Yeah, that would suck. That would suck. I'd feel bad. I don't want animals to feel like that. I think that is a burden only humans should have to bear. At least right now, because it is a burden. It's a great benefit and a great boon, but humans have not traditionally been great at wielding that power. Well, I guess we'll never know truly if any animals have existential crises. I don't think that's true. I think there would be signs. I mean, humans display pretty telltale signs if they're having an existential crisis. You can usually tell. Okay, maybe elephants, Mondanair. Maybe. I programmed this robot to have depression. But why? Yeah, don't get me started on robots. Don't get me started. I've been watching a lot of videos on robots lately. That's not good. It's not a good place to go. If you want an existential crisis, go down that rabbit hole with me. I think they tried to see if great apes could be self-aware, but they discovered that they never seem to ask themselves questions, as far as I know. I mean, it's an ongoing study, and there's always more to learn. And I think one thing we don't really account for is the difference in the individual when it comes to animals, because animals, if they by and large have not evolved to the point where they are quite as cognizant of themselves as humans, you're going to have individuals that maybe have a higher level of empathy or a higher level of compassion or pseudo self-awareness, I guess, or puzzle solving skills than other animals. It's why you see like certain great apes are really good at solving puzzles, because they're just a little bit more capable. They're just a little bit more genetically disposed to doing that. And I'm sure that though there's not an easy way to test it, some animals are, even within their own genus and within their own families, are more predisposed towards empathy and some level of whatever gives us consciousness. Now, am I saying they're conscious? Like, in the sense of self-awareness? Probably not. Are they leaning closer to it than some of their peers? Maybe. That's true, Neru. That's true. You can see that in humans. There are a lot of people who've never used their brains since high school. In fact, there's a lot of people who don't use their brains in high school. There's a lot of people who got stunted at the emotional intelligence of a 12-year-old, and they're running around as adults today, acting like they are functioning adults in society, but they have no business doing that and are in incredible danger at best to the people around them, and at worst are influencing the world you live in to this day. Uh-oh. Dojitsu Moon says, possible intelligence is linked to density of neurons capable within a brain. There are even insects that can potentially be smarter than us. I don't see insect. Where's the insect internet then? Take that! But also, thanks for a month. Dude, don't get me started about the rise of AI chatbots and how it has completely like destroyed the idea of the institution of like it has destroyed the idea of institutionalized learning, because unfortunately the problem with institutionalized learning is that it's obligate, which I used that word too many times today already. But the point is that in many places you are forced to learn. And if you are forced to learn against your will and you don't want to learn, you are going to look for any opportunity to not learn. So because school is demanded of you, and I don't get me wrong, I do not think the alternative is a good thing. I do not want people to not go to school. I think it is important that people go to school. I think it is important that they learn. However, because people are forced to learn and not presented with a fun, active, interesting environment where they want to learn, they will search for any tool to not have to do that, because it becomes a chore. It becomes an obligation. It becomes something you don't want to do. That is forced upon you. That's not good. And now they have very powerful tools to do that. The problem is that jumps a logical leap towards, now I'm going to go to higher education and continue to use those tools. And then I'm going to get into a job I don't know how to do because I used those tools. Uh-oh. I think school systems need a bit of work and more support, because yikes, but also school important. And it's a privilege. It is. It is a privilege, and I think that is not impressed upon people enough. I know, because I fucking hated school. It was a privilege, and I did not respect that. I hated it. Have you read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream? No, but I've watched enough content about it at this point that I probably understand it in, you know, most of its context. I listen to the speech a lot from Am? Yeah, I think we're in a really weird era right now, and there's a lot of buzzwords, and there's a lot of like, once again, my favorite thing, and probably the thing that makes humans stupidest in my opinion, and I'm included in this, obviously, before somebody takes us out of context, like, wow, Ruze thinks he's so much smarter than everybody, which, no, I don't, but if you're saying that, yes, I'm smarter than you, clearly. However, no, I don't think I'm smarter than, like, the vast majority of people. There are many people out there who are significantly smarter than me. But I think that one thing that makes humans incredibly stupid, and one thing I can't stand amongst us as a species, is tribalism. I think that right now AI is a buzzword, and rightfully so, because it's ruining a lot of lives, and it's posing an exceptional danger to humanity, and it is quickly exceeding our control and our ability to curb it from doing whatever it wants. And it has proven time and time again that it will not work within a moral boundary. However, I do not think the word AI is evil. I do not think using AI to organize your notes is evil. I do not think asking Siri to play you a song is evil. I do not think the word is a dirty word. I think that generative AI is trained in an unethical way, and that is bad. I think the amount of power it has and the effect it has on the environment is bad. I think that AI used in a context where it can be useful to people or just for fun is fine. AI learning enemies in video games? Cool, sure, whatever, man. Make my enemies smarter. That's why I play PvP games, because AI can't challenge me. Great. If they get smarter, that's fun. AI used to help you organize your notes? Okay, man, I get it. Life's stressful. Let it help you. That's okay, man. That's fine. However, AI is a generative thing to replace the joys of life and the things that are what make humans, you know, engage with the universe around them, like art or literature or you know, media. That's not good. Why would you rob yourself of that? That's bad. Don't do that. Rabbit Key says, as someone who had tiger parents, what's tiger parents, and is neurospicy, the way we look at the current systematic education structure needs to be revamped to remain relevant. Agreed. I think largely, and it's not going to be longer than 5 or 10 years, people are just going to stop caring about degrees because they're going to recognize a degree was just I did chat GPT. It's going to be I had chat GPT help me button. People are no longer going to give a shit whether or not you have that. Yeah, I think people don't recognize that artificial intelligence applies to basically everything you've ever touched that is a machine. Like, there is some level of AI in anything you touch. Not literally, not a toaster probably. Well, I mean, well, anyway, the point is, AI is a very broad term, and to demonize the term itself is not the move. However, yes, it's having a negative impact, and I recognize that, and I'm not sitting here as like an AI bro before you, proselytizing upon my podium. Yuffie says, studying AI in uni since before ChatGPT came out has been interesting, for real, for real. It's a complex tool, and capitalism is the one wielding it. Yeah, well, anything capitalism wields is going to turn evil. I'm sorry, I'll say it. The cover does not support this statement. This is not cover statement. Fuck capitalism. It doesn't help. Yes, free market can be a good thing. Yes, it's good to make sure the little man is able to succeed. That's not what's happening. Oops. Turns out if the only motivation anybody has is the acquisition of more money, which translates to the acquisition of more power, bad things happen. Monopolies happen. It's not good. Ah, I see, Rinrolo. I see. Brutal. Now some genius right now just wiped the drool off their chin and said, well, if capitalism is bad, Crimzon Rulez, why do you make money? Because I don't want to die, idiot. That's it. You know what I don't do? Hoard wealth in copious amounts. Moving on. Had to go during the Twilight rant, came back to this. I'm not going to sit here and rant about that shit too much. I think that is a marker of a performative male or performative entertainer in our society right now, is somebody who like rants too long about capitalism. I get it. It's a hot button topic. It's easy to riff on it. And you know where I stand on that. It is a problem and it should be noted, but it's not something I'm just going to beat to death because I've talked about it enough. If you hate society, why do you participate? Got him. I don't know, dude. I have to, I guess. Yes, Tiffy, you're going to want to cast that Twilight rant. It was awful, and I had a lot of internet issues. That's true. That's true. Thanks, Prince Whimsy. I try my best. I don't want to be super heavy here, though. I like goofing around. I like talking about lizards and bugs and Twilight. But sometimes, I mean, yeah, my brain be rotating to topics that are a little heavier. And, like, maybe it's not my space as a corporate VTuber to talk about those things. But also, I don't give a shit. Sorry, brother. You know what it was when you picked me up, cover. You knew what I was going to do. You knew what I like to talk about. I can't shut my damn mouth. That's the neurotypicalness in me, brother. Oh, you hate money? Well, take this. Thank you. Now I can buy a delicious latte. I just got here. What did I miss? Me chafing against the collar that barely fits on me. And I would apologize to the people who don't want that and just want me to be a silly anime guy. But, hey, man, I've been here for 2 years. At this point, you know what it is. If you don't like it, don't watch. Eat your fucking vegetables. All right? I'm your veggies. I'll go back to being a silly guy and giving you your fucking donuts in a second. Have some broccoli. Big Gert, please behave. Big problem with generative AI is offloading the time and process it takes to learn a skill properly in exchange for instant gratification. Good talk, y'all. That's a big problem with a lot of things, and I think a big problem with our society at large right now, and that includes me. I'm not beyond that. I'm not above that, dude. Instant gratification is something that is plaguing us constantly and intensely right now. It's why content continues to get more and more short form. It's why things that are like longer form tend to like do worse, and the algorithm pushes things that are just like instantly gratifying and funny and keep your attention for as short an amount of time as possible, because then you move on to the next thing, you get the new dopamine hit, and you don't click away, and that just happens over and over and over again. It's the same problem with gaming. You know, people in the gaming market, they'll be like, wow, I don't want to talk about all this stupid garbage. Well, you think you're such an intellectual. I'm going to go play my video game now. And I'm like, dude, it's happening to you. It's happening right now. Your games are getting stupider. Your games are rewarding you faster and faster and faster and focusing on trying to give you a dopamine hit, but not focusing on giving you a satisfying gameplay experience. Games aren't even games anymore. They're just rushing to the next dopamine hit. It's kind of boring. I don't like it. Sorry. I like a good narrative. I like a good world. I like games that just put things in it just to put things in it. I like pointless like long hallways that have nothing at the end. I like rooms that just are just there to make the world feel a little bit more lived in and don't have like a secret reward or a secret chest for you. Not everything has to be good gameplay design. Sometimes things are just games. I don't know about your part of the world, but my part of the world needs more money for a latte. You're right, Mia Lee. And you're helping me. You're saving my latte budget. Thanks. Now I can have more morning latte talks. We'll do this more often. Thank you for the soup. Rinrolo, thank you for 4 months. Says, good God, having my name read out loud was unexpected and a jumpstart. Spooky month's over, buddy. Good riddance. Quick, favorite top. I'm kind of just a t-shirt guy most of the time, but I like a good button up if I'm wearing, if I'm feeling a little fancier, you know, I'll wear some tight jeans, some high boots, a button up. Maybe I'll do a little corset or something. I don't fucking know. I also really like these, well, actually what I'm wearing right now, like tops with like the sort of thread in the middle to lace it up. Not because I want to lace it up. I just like it being loose. It just looks cool, I feel like. With high collars especially. They're fun. Alistair says, my handmaids ever won me $20 at a tiny costume contest last week. Just paying it forward. Oh. So really it won me $20. Thanks. Thank you. Braxton, thank you for an entire year. Let's go! Also, I wouldn't be here if you were a big fake anime man. Your realism that makes me return, Mr. Wise. Also, make money, spend money. That's the plan, brother. Make money, spend money. Mostly on pizza. And bills. Lots and lots of bills. Bunny Hugger says, yeah, I could rant about how grading in school is just pressure for students to not make mistakes when it should be a tool for educators to see where students need help. But honestly, just want to talk about birds. Exactly. Also, thank you for the soup and the insight. You're right. You're completely right. Dude, the relentless promotion of gambling is insane. I'm not even going to get going on that because sometimes it's just for fun. Some people can have a healthy relationship with gambling and can goof around with it, and it's just a way to bring themselves a little bit of joy in their life. That's fine. When they're engaging in a healthy way, I don't give a shit. Gamble away. Have a blast. I don't fucking care. I don't gamble because I had terrible luck, and I know what that would do to me. Not because I would get addicted, but because I would just lose immediately, so there's no point in doing it. However, gambling can be very dangerous to the wrong person, and that's a bit of a bummer. Yeah, Blue Leaf, I've been thinking about that a lot myself lately. I have not allowed myself to sit and be bored for a long time. And that, I think, is damaging to my psyche. I think even my thoughts are more fleeting in short form, just because I engage in so much short form content, and I don't give myself time to just ruminate. I've been trying to practice, like, whenever I'm, like, doing dishes or chores or whatever, instead of, like, listening to a video essay or listening to an audiobook or just watching some mindless, like, Pokemon tier list video or something, I've been trying to either just be in dead silence or listen to music at best. And even music, I find, sometimes distracts me. It's good to be able to, like... It's good to try to train my brain with being comfortable with long stretches, or at least, you know, mediocre stretches of just doing nothing but ruminating. I haven't done meditation since I was a kid, but maybe I should get back into trying to do something like that. I could never clear my mind right. When I was a kid, I would read my mom's Book of Shadows or whatever, and it would like recommend like meditation and stuff like that. And I tried a couple times to make that work out, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't like get to a Zen space. And maybe that's fine. Maybe I should have just accepted, like, sometimes meditation is just time to sit and think. But I kind of gave up on it pretty quick. Yeah, Kimmy Chi, that's definitely a good start. I'm trying to not constantly be scrolling when I'm just kind of finding free time. You know what I mean? Like the temptation to like, as soon as I walk into my kitchen to like open my phone and open Twitter and scroll through it is really, really hard to resist. I mean, like if I feel because I have the internet in my pocket at all times, I can't ever shut it off, if that makes sense. There was a time, and maybe this is dating myself, there was a time when the internet belonged in a room in my home or whatever, right? Or it was at school and I couldn't get to it when I wasn't at school. And when I walked away from the internet, it didn't exist anymore. And it was just me alone in the world again. And at that time, I was suffering clinical depression. So it wasn't very good and it sucked and I hated it. But looking back, it was probably somewhat more healthy for me than having the internet in my pocket because I could close the door on the internet. You know, when I met people online when I was a kid, it was when I was like playing World of Warcraft and they were my WoW friends and I didn't add them on Discord and I didn't add them on social media. I talked to them when I was on the computer, and when I wasn't on the computer, they didn't exist. I thought about them and I cared about them, but I was at a healthy distance to digest my interactions with them and digest my experiences with them and just like let that be a different reality. The internet was its own dimension. Now the internet is my life. If I have a 4-second window of opening the fridge, my phone pops out of my pocket and I look at Twitter for like those 4 seconds before the fridge. From the time it takes to put my hand on the handle to opening the handle, I probably scrolled through 3 posts. That's not good. That's not good for my psyche. It's not good for your psyche, probably. I'm trying to stop doing that. Now, I will say, in the bathroom, I do be watching those YouTube shorts. I'm not sorry, man. I'm not going to sit there and focus on taking a shit. I don't want to. I don't want to be alone with my thoughts. Distract me, internet, please. That's a good idea, Billion. That's a good idea. Leave the phone in the other room. I should try that. I'm here to distract you. Thank you, Roy. Real ones read the text on the shampoo bottles. Oh, dude, you just unlocked a core memory for me. Either reading text on shampoo bottles or like imagining a character running along like the wood textures on the walls or like imagining shapes and like little fake shitty plastic wood textures. I got you, homie. Hope you're kicking butt today. Mostly just yapping, Roy. Though I think I am reaching my wrap-up point if I'm being so for real with you. Well, I hope the yapping was peak. It's been pretty good. I did a big long Twilight rant. I talked about lizards and their third eyes. I talked a little bit about spiders, the idea of sentience or cognizance, or I guess sapience versus sentience. We talked a little bit about capitalism and performative males, performative people in general. That's crazy, son Bob. That sounds cool. Blue Leaf, thanks for being a bruiser. Welcome back. All right, listen. I need you guys to be brain rotted enough to keep watching me. Otherwise, I will succumb to the corporate machine, the capitalism machine. You guys got to keep doing that. All right? Be healthy on your own time. When you're here with me, you got to be unhealthy. Like I said before, watch Crimzon Rulez. Watch Crimzon Rulez at your wedding. Watch Crimzon Rulez on the toilet. Watch Crimzon Rulez in your bathroom. Watch Crimzon Rulez in your grave. Watch Crimzon Rulez in bed. Watch Crimzon Rulez when you get embedded. Watch Crimzon Rulez when you should be focusing on your schoolwork. Watch Crimzon Rulez when you're asking ChatGPT to give you the test answers. Always be watching your Crimzon Rulez. Just a whittle brain rot. I promise I'll try to make it worth your time. sometimes we'll think. Most of the time we'll brain rot, but sometimes I'll help you think. Well, Nerissimo, I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and at the risk of sounding like a huge cunt, I'm going to say something that sounds mean, and I don't mean it to be mean. And actually, it's good. It's a good time to say this because I think that a lot of people might think this and not realize it. Shadowcross Zero, thank you for the chip, by the way. That was my statement. I'm sorry if I sounded like an asshole. Thank you for the chip. Bye. No, I'm just kidding. I think I miss when connections weren't that deep on the internet. I have a lot of fond memories of people I met in games and in places like I don't know, fucking shitty roleplay boards or whatever, which could hardly be called roleplay because I was like a stupid 12-year-old who didn't know how to write to save my life. I still probably don't because I haven't really practiced since then. But like, I miss those temporary, ephemeral connections that only mattered when I was in that space. I have many memories that are lifelong that I will never forget with people I don't know the name of. I know their screen name, I knew their class and their race that they played in WoW, and that's all I know about them. And that's okay. That connection was beautiful and important to me, but only until I was off the computer. I miss that. I miss that a lot. Essie, thank you for 14 months, by the way. I'm in bed watching Crimzon Rulez. This is crazy. How do you know? I know your secret. Thank you for 14 months of being an axhole. That's big. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Skylar G88 says, hearing you vocalize so many of the topics I constantly have floating around in my head has been really satisfying. Thanks for making my workday so much more interesting. You're welcome. And thank you for yapping with me and letting me yap. But yeah, I miss when connections were a little bit more relegated to the spaces where they were made. When you could like really kind of compartmentalize your worlds that you existed in. It's like I had my school friends, I had my WoW friends, I had like my shitty, I don't fucking know, like Pokemon roleplay board friends. I had my fucking whatever site you were on, Neopets friends or whatever, right? You had like all of that. Those are the people that you knew. And even in school, you know, you had like your cool friends and your burnout friends, or your like fucking friends that you were ashamed to be friends with, that you shouldn't have been ashamed to be friends with because you were pressured socially to not be friends with them, but you liked them because they were cool people, even if they were largely considered weird or cringe, but you still were cool with them. That you had all of these different spaces and different like concepts of like what friendship meant to you, and none of these connections were like constantly in your face. I miss that. I do miss that. And I'm not saying I don't enjoy the depth of connection that the world can have right now, but I don't know, dude. I miss being able to meet somebody on like fucking World of Warcraft and they didn't immediately have to add me on fucking social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Discord, and then we talk to each other every single fucking day. I like talking to people. I like the people I've met. I like my acquaintances and my friends. Not that I have any friends, because I don't make friends. I hate friends. Friends are bad, yucky, stinky. But I miss being able to compartmentalize that and not have to constantly keep up with that, because it is an impossible burden sometimes, especially as a content creator. I think we feel this the most. I think Bluebell, Roy, you guys probably understand this feeling of there's so many things happening every day, all the time, no matter what. And the guilt of being unable to maintain that is painful and it sucks. And I don't want to be a bad person and not care about people's events and their birthdays and things that make them feel special and things that I should notice about them as their friend. But when my friendship is disseminated amongst like 128 individuals who all have like 14 personal moments that are important to them in a year, then that's like, I don't fucking know, dude. That's like 1,480 something odd like things that I need to keep up with, which is multiple a day. It's hard. It's too much for any one person to handle. Like, I promise I don't hate you. I just need this time to myself or I will explode. Exactly. That's the emotion. I don't hate you. I just need time to be by myself and alone and think. And I think content creators struggle with this because we all want to make sure that we know we care about each other. But it's just so many people. It's so many people to keep up with. And I'm pretty bad about this because I've always been a hands-off friend. I'm the type of person who won't talk to you for 4 months, and it's not personal. I just forget you're not there because I don't have object permanence. If you are not directly in front of me talking to me, I'm probably Googling what type of ant has, like, the most aggressive territorial control and will be the most likely to go hunt down other ants around them because my brain is immediately fixating on the next thing I'm interested in. Or I'm playing 14 hours of fucking Songs of Six, man. It's not personal. I'm just dumb. I just want to be thinking about things I'm thinking about. Man, I've had some deep combos in Final Fantasy 14 raids. I believe you, Braxta. Also, thank you for the soup. Low maintenance friends, rise up. It's why I struggle with, and I apologize to everybody because I know there are people in this room I've done this to. Sorry, Roy. It's why I have this situation where sometimes I'll get a DM and I'll sit on it for like a week. And sometimes it's because I read it and I forget it's there. Other times it's because I recognize that because I sat on DMs for 3 days, I now have like 17 DMs from different people and I get overwhelmed and I'm like, oh my God, oh no, I left them all on red. And it's been like, some of them it's been like 2 weeks, some of them it's been 3 hours, and I can't respond to all of them, but I shouldn't just respond to one of them because then I'm favoring one of them and that's not okay. So I just won't respond to any of them. Anyway, you guys are all cool. I don't dislike anybody, and if I don't respond to you, I apologize. I promise it's probably because I got in my own head about being an asshole, or I've gotten overwhelmed because I just have too many messages. That's fair, Roy. What I've been trying to practice lately is I just answer all of my DMs all at once. And then, you know, if that conversation continues, I'll have that conversation until I air quotes clock out of whatever time I'm like putting into work that day. Even though talking to people isn't work, you know what I mean? Like, I try not to like let that be my entire day. Like, I don't leave my Discord open on my phone because if I do, I've been in situations where I'll have like, that's my day. I mean, literally, I will be in conversations with people and it'll be like between like 9, 10, 12 different people where I'll spend, you know, 12 hours just responding in a cycle to different DMs over and 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 over. That's fair. Fair, Bluebell. Lazy, throwback to when people used to write letters and their stupid little peasant messengers would take a fortnight to get there and back with correspondence. Motherfuckers got a little patience. Dude, I kind of wish I'm like, man, I wish messages took a while to get there sometimes. Sometimes I just need to breathe in between them. I've been trying to practice like responding to everybody all at once. And then giving myself like, you know, an hour or two where it's like, this is my time to respond to all of my DMs. And I will do all of them. And I will respond as many times as necessary within that hour. And then I'm going to go do something. I'm going to go work on some stream stuff. Or I'm going to go like, you know, work on a cover project. Or I'm going to go like, maybe I'll spend an hour playing a video game for myself once every 4 days. You don't know. I might. Don't test me. How you doing today, Lazy? Bro, I feel so bad. Definitely, I think cover has received the brunt of that. I've been so bad about ghosting messages and stuff recently because I've been... Man, I can't... I pop into Discord and I see I've got like 45 unread messages. I'm like, fuck, dude. And 20 of those are to me from cover. And I'm like, oh. So I just don't answer anybody about anything and it feels bad. But I'm doing better. I promise. I've jumped both feet back in. I've been like clearing all my messages and making sure I'm keeping up with everybody about everything. But it's tough. One at a time. That's true. You guys got pen pals in the big year of 2025? That's pretty cool. Man, imagine if I had time to like read a book. We could do book club. Yeah. Often I'll just log out of Discord and I'll be like, oops, because I see too many work messages, and I'll realize that I'm also avoiding everybody who's messaged me on Discord, and I feel bad, but it is what it is sometimes. It is what it is. But I'm working on not doing that because I want to respect everybody's time, and I don't want to put anybody in a position where they're waiting on me to respond because that's not fair to them. So yeah. We'll see. I'll think about movie club. I know a couple of you guys said that, yeah. You know, I thought about that too, Blue Voices, thinking about finding a message in a bottle. That would have been cool. ABC, always be crimzoning. Please don't crimzoon. Crimzoon for good. What about book club? Well, I haven't done a book club in a few months now. Probably almost like half a year now. It feels really bad, but I just haven't had time to read, really. Which sucks, because I was really enjoying getting back into reading, but... And if I crimzoon for bad, you'll be visited by the ghost of Gunner's past, and they'll, I don't know, circumcise you. I don't fucking know, dude. I don't fucking know. There's no consequences. Do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Have fun. I guess Dune wasn't that long ago. You're right, Fur Tree. Yeah. What if I'm already circumcised? There's always more to take. And with that, I'm going to show you my schedule and get the fuck out of here. Sorry. Just a little off the top, brother. I am a lady, sir. There's always more to take. Yeah, maybe Myra. I might like try to like find a way to make reading time like a stream. I don't know how I would do that. Do you guys want to sit here silently while I read and I don't say anything or engage with you in any way? Because that would suck. Let me find my schedule. Hold on. Sir, you are a strange man. True. Big Gert, get this man. Get this man off the internet. Guys, okay, listen, I understand some of you are down for that. I get it. I understand. Some of you are like, oh, no, I'd totally do that, Ruze. I'd totally be here for a meditation stream. For sure, for sure. Don't worry, brother. That sounds so fun. It'll be cool. I'll be here. Man, like, all two of you are going to be here. And everybody else is going to be like, why am I... What? I could just read. I could just go meditate on my own. What about reading out loud? Now, I could do that. Did I do that? I think I did a stream about that. Didn't I do that for, what was it, Dracula or something? I don't know. I'll do a work alongside me stream at some point. It's really hard. I feel like I gotta be entertaining you guys. I feel like I gotta be yapping. It's hard for me to like conceptualize just doing a stream where I don't do anything. Jekyll and Hyde, that's what it was. Get you a mic that just plays your breathing in an uncomfortably loud volume. You're welcome. What the fuck is Gog? You're just saying shit. Yeah, that's true. I will say doing like a sort of ASMR style stream, if I broke out the 3DO mic and I just did some typing for a while and worked on some world building stuff for Hollow Marches could be fun. Speaking of Hollow Marches, I think you're going to like this schedule. Not because Hollow March is on it, but because some world buildings is on it. Buildings is... What the fuck's wrong with me? How do I talk? How do you talk again? Oh, it's a game on Steam. I didn't know that. That's cool. It's like a chat room for doing work, huh? Interesting. All right, so today's morning latte. Tomorrow I'm doing vocal lessons and resting and also doing my work meetings because I have a couple. Tuesday, I'm going to be doing Arc Raiders with Bettel and Apollo. So that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be pretty cool. It's going to be at 5 p.m. EST, so that's going to be somewhere in between my evening and my afternoon slots. So EU and EST Zaders, get ready. C Zaders, I'm so sorry. I know that's a terrible time for you, but don't worry. I'm going to make it up to you because I got more Arc Raiders later in the week. Later that night on Tuesday, I'm going to be doing monster making, where we make a monster for tabletop RPGs. That's going to be a tier 2 membership, so if you're a Ruzader or above, I will see you there. It's going to be relatively comfortable. I will poll you for your thoughts and opinions as I shoot the shit and try to make a cool monster. It'll be a lot of fun. Wednesday, I'm going to be doing Minecraft. Just a little guy. Just going to be playing more Minecraft. I'll shoot the shit. It'll be on Oshi Day. It'll be great. You guys can hang out, talk with me. That'll be in the EST time slot as well, baby. Thursday, I'm going to be doing Arc Raiders with Octavio and Shinri, hopefully. That's going to be at 8 p.m. EST. It'll be a lot of fun. I've been playing a little bit of Arc Raiders off stream. I haven't played a ton, but I played a little bit. I hope to be able to have time to play a little bit more today. We'll see. I know the Avaris art is so good. Friday, I'm going to be playing Zomboid, and I believe, but I don't want to put him in a bad spot and say that it's true until I have 100% confirmation. But as far as I know, we might have a certain Ronin joining us for that, so that could be cool. And then Saturday, I'm going to be doing Block Wars and a Goose Goose Duck collab, though I don't know if that's public who that's with, because I don't know if they've said yet, so I'm not going to say who, but it's going to be a bigger collab. But yeah, that'll be fun. So it'd be really cool. A lot of collabs this week. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy shit. Yeah, you will be there, Lazu. That's right. Lazu's going to be there for Block Wars. Let's go, baby. Let's go. So yeah, a lot of collabs this week. Don't forget that Zomboid, the server, is going to be a tier 3 membership thing, so you guys get priority if your Axholes are above. Obviously, I'll put the code down in the Axhole membership posts, and I'll see you guys there. Puffy, thanks for being a Ruzader, by the way. That is a lot of social energy, but I said I was going to jump back into streaming both feet forward, and I fucking meant it, so I'm getting back in there, baby. Wait, is the stream ending? I just got here. Well, we're talking about the schedule and hyping it up a little bit and how excited I hope you are for it. Teehee. But if you did miss the stream, the good news is the VOD's going to be chef's kiss. You're going to be eating good today, VOD watchers and lurkers. I hope you're having fun. It's a banger week. It's a long week, and I've crammed a lot in there, but I'm excited about that. And you know what? I've enjoyed this. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Do we want to do more of these morning latte things? I think that could be fun. Maybe I'll try and squeeze them in as like an hour or two Zatsus before certain streams. I'll try to do 1 or 2 a week, maybe. How's that sound? We'll try and keep that going. Hell yeah, T. Thank you for 22 months of being an Axel. Wah! All right. There you go. That's all your Ruze for the week. Enjoy. I hope you're eating good today, Ruzaders. As always, I'm Crimzon Rulez. I'm your least favorite idol. I am also the only idol you know. If you talk to anybody else, I'm gonna go cry. And believe it or not, I'll piss your pants. Blaming you for getting me into buy Zomboid. You're welcome, Falcona. And thank you for the soup. Oh, and thank you for all the support, all the soup, all the chips, and all of that today. You're too kind. Susu, thank you for the soup as well. You guys are killing me. You're killing me. All right, that's enough niceness. Thank you for our veggies and schedule, Ruze. Thank you for the soups. All right. That's enough being nice. Anyway, I've had a lot of fun. This has been cool. I need to do more Zatsus. I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna do more Yappin streams. Don't worry. I mean it. I mean it. That's why I'm jumping back into streaming and scheduling with a yapping stream, so I can hold myself accountable to it and make it happen. Yeah. Cry. No, I won't. You can't make me. Thank you, Milksop, for the soup. What was I gonna say? Yeah, VOD question. Let me think. So the VOD question is gonna be, damn, just one more child. Thank you for the 5 gifted chips. Holy shit. VOD question. I was gonna ask. No, I'm not gonna ask thoughts on Twilight. Actually, that's good. All right, let's do that. Okay. What? How about this? Here's an adjacent form. What form of cursed immortality would you accept? What is your ideal cursed immortality? There you go. Your monkey's paw immortality. Also, I know I didn't do a resolve, and that's because the annual resolve is coming up, so there's no point in doing a monthly resolve because 2nd anniversary is coming up. So I'll be doing the annual resolve soon, so keep an eye out for that. And oh, you know what? Actually, it would be a better VOD question. I changed my mind. Skip that. For your VOD question, what movie would you want me to watch for movie club? If we were gonna do movie club, what movie would you want me to watch for movie club? I think that's one you'll have more fun with. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, etc., etc. Please play the algorithm with me because we all love playing the algorithm game. It's our favorite game, and you guys are my players 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know, however, like 15 of you or whoever are here. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie from 1995. Duh. The Room. All right, Bluebell, that's it. You're getting old, Yellard. Somebody get my axe. I've had enough. You guys have to watch the Sonic OVA from 1998 or whatever the fuck. Okay, so yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, play the algorithm game with me. That's fun because believe it or not, every like equals 1 performative male I will trick into actually reading the content they're pretending to read. Yep. Okay, bye. Oh no, I forgot to update my members list. Whatever. I'll do it today, right after the stream, actually. I just pulled my members list, so I should be able to update this immediately. All right, gamers, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for vibing. No pressure, but any VPs in the near future. I'm hoping, Aurora. I've been writing one. I wrote one, and then I had to stop because I wanted to refine it, and I've been sitting on it for like 2 months, so I might need to go back and rewrite it, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully. Anyway, thank you so much for the soup. Bye! I see you not tomorrow, but the day after. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you. This is way longer than I meant it to be. All right, I got to work on cutting these down. This has got to be an hour or 2 hours. What was I thinking? 3 hours? Fuck, I got to stop loving yapping so much. What's wrong with me? Why do I love yapping? All right, don't forget, the VOD question is, what movie would you like to see me watch for Movie Club? And sell me on it. Don't just say it. Sell me on it. Okay, bye. I'm going to range over to Gabus Bettel, who's playing Five Nights at Freddy's, The Secret of the Mimic. Have fun. He started 22 minutes ago, so you haven't missed much. And remember, it is the year of the Ruze. Fuck 'em supreme, baby! Woo!